Let us know whenever it happens, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Flipping the game back on again, 'cause I can't see anyone.
Okay. You missed fucking Eerie, just like throwing him a couple squares towards the fucking circle
Did
with
he?
your
Okay.
bullshit Eerie magic.
So he is throwable. So our predictions about Eerie ending this match were true.
Apparently.
Okay. All right.
And then it's just Shave your turnover.
Yeah.
I'm going to fire 2 arrows at Ashtung.
Okay.
Give
You get
him
a
the
plus
pew
2
pew.
to your attack roll for both these because he is blind.
That blind is so good. Oh,
Only the first one hits.
Okay, I get another +2 to my HP.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you do. 2 temporary hit points, but it doesn't increase forever. It just stays at 2.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah, like one of them just like bounces off his armor ineffectually. The other one goes wide, and he just sort of like snaps the half of the splintered arrow against his chest and just knocks it aside. 2 points of damage is nothing to a king like to Yolas Ashtung III. Is that your
That is my turn.
Before your turn, Kyvius,
Yes.
just so you know really quickly,
Yeah.
Having like sort of seen Morgaine here and realizing that he's pushed backwards, you watch as he like raises his weapon high in the fucking air, preparing to bring it down heavily. And it like starts to just accumulate some of the strength of the area.
Okay. So I've only really got one thing that I can do about that.
Oh, don't get hit by that.
Yeah, I know. I'd rather not. I think. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to sidle off to the side and start to get all shadowy and shimmery. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 squares right into the circle up here, and we are going to pop off our glasses, and our eyes are going to get really bright with fire, and we're going to pull that fire out of ourselves and then place it inside the king, and we're going to use witch fire on him.
Oh my god.
yeah, he'll never hit again.
Just a bunch of party of beholders like, fuck you guys. Jesus.
He has
that'll hit.
-9 and -11 to anyone who isn't me.
Pretty good. Do you want to describe that real fast?
He just did.
Did it
sorry.
not go through?
No, it was great. No, I was like, oh, that's a goddamn big roll. Yeah, absolutely. Like, fucking the flame just streams from his eyes.
So wait, did you guys give him a bunch of other negatives before my turn while I was offline? Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's blinded for 1d4 turns, and that's
I saw that. I was
essentially
there for
-5.
that. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. This bitch ain't hit nothing. And the next
He's gonna
turn,
crit.
and the next turn he's gonna crit. Yeah. No, listen. I don't even have like a wooden desk to knock on.
This
The
is
next
gonna be
turn,
like a
he's gonna kill
brute justice
Morgaine.
fight. We're gonna get another phase here in a second.
So I see, Morgaine sees him lift his hammer aloft and light it in flame, and he just rushes towards him. And he's, you think that'll save you?
Ooh, bold.
Damn it.
Oh, you pushed him.
Oh, damn!
Holy fuck.
Yeah, no, you throw him back into the circle, and like as you do, you watch as the form becomes completely solid once more.
Mark that bitch.
Now I mark him.
Yeah.
That's a daily, by the way. I don't know why that's colored as a.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, it's your daily?
Fuck that! I wish that was an encounter.
Holy shit! Yeah, he looks startled, and then like his face contorts into like an expression of like exultation, and goes, "Did someone train you wrong as a joke? That was the worst thing you could have done." Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, because I missed my second attack. Cool.
So the lair action has no effect because the fucking just shit show that you are dropping on this man right now is rough. The first thing that happens is that the hammer comes down, and he just bellows. On the day of my birth, mine was the lustiest cry for life they had heard in an age. I was born destined. What chance do you have? And as the weapon comes down, hitting both Warren and Morgaine at 30 versus AC, -5 for being blind, and then
Minus
the
four.
fucking
-4.
-4, so 21 versus AC. I don't think it hits either of you.
Yeah,
Morgaine, you have +1 AC from my reactive arsenal.
Yeah,
And Morgan
no,
marked him,
so
right? Oh, never mind.
and
that
Morgaine
doesn't
has a
matter.
marked.
So it doesn't
I
matter
have
though
a
because he hit
marked,
both
but
of them.
I'm on 20 AC exactly, actually. Right?
So then
Oh,
plus
really?
one's 21. So it misses me because I have ageless and total defense up, so mine's 28 right now.
Yeah. But if 21 hits your new AC, Morgaine,
Yes.
okay, you take 9 points of damage. You are also going to start taking 3 ongoing damage every round until you make a save.
I'm bad at those.
Yeah, you can just sense that, like, just some of the flames. Oh, I should probably change his fucking token here real quick. As he, like, slams the hammer down, just the flames that come licking up and just roaring over your skin. You can tell that it's like he has brought the power of the Shadowfell and the Foundling Stone together in one huge maelstrom of energy that throws you to the ground. And then at the end of his turn, really quickly here again, just extends a hand out to where he says or sees Kyvius and shouts, "You, worm-hearted one, fall."
All right,
That's
so
Warren, apparently.
it's
But yeah,
fine.
23 versus AC. Yeah, you're like in his square. But he's got a -4 to his attack roll, so 19 versus Will. I'm sorry, it's 9. No, I'm sorry, it's both because he's blind too.
So minus
I feel
9
like
is.
I feel like this isn't an attack roll that has a CU though, so it's just -5. So it's or -4 rather. So it's 19 versus Will.
19 versus Will, and then I'm partially. So I have
You can
plus
roll
2.
endurance
Where am I?
at difficulty 19 to.
And night.
So
It's
I have 18. So what was it again?
19.
19. Oh, okay. And it was targeting me, and I have to roll endurance. Ooh. And it would be the DC would be 19, right?
Correct.
I'm so screwed. 17.
Whoa!
Oh!
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
No, you hold yourself upright. He looks shocked.
Careful, Benji. That sounds constipated.
I'm much stronger than I look.
And then it is Warren's turn.
Weird question. Shifting when you have a power bonus is still 1 square, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because there's separate things to increase
Yeah.
shift distance. Okay.
I know what you mean, but in this case, it's only your movement speed.
Right. I have a weird one.
Okay.
I haven't used this power outside of what it's meant to do,
Uh-huh.
but I would like to use my mark, but not to mark him, just to study him and maybe gain a benefit for myself, but for no one else. If that is a thing.
I think you. Oh man. I think we're gonna have to talk about that between games. I think in this particular moment, that's a tough one for me to make a rule call on.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, don't worry about that then.
You can tell that he's very clearly holding back.
Oh. Right now?
Yep.
Okay. I No, I take I do the same thing. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna move back 1 square to stay in his range, but I'm gonna take total defense again.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say
He really likes his sword.
my father used to tell stories of you. You know, he fought like you did for the thrill of it, and he kicked my ass a lot better. And my turn.
I'm just gonna go ahead and make him feel like he doesn't want to really hurt us anymore.
Good.
That would be very mean.
That's gonna hit. And you know how he takes full damage from psychic, right?
Yep. So 9 damage and a -2 for the end of my next turn.
Is he substantial because he's standing on the circle now?
Correct. Yeah. There's a moment when like he actually falls back from just the assault that you have laid upon him, Erie. And between like all of you, he looks around horrified, even though Morgaine is on the ground next to him. He has that moment where it's like he's seeing you all for the very first time. And then, like, as he, again, just struggling to deal with the fact that his eyes are bleeding white light and he's surrounded by antagonists, you watch as he just, like, brings a hand up to the hilt of the hammer blade itself, and he just turns like he's snapping off the Foundling stone. And even though it doesn't move, like, there's a ghostly kind of an after image of the stone that appears. And the helm completely gone now. He says, "The Shadowfell hungers. My hammer will feed it, but I have to admit, this is a lot more fun than I was expecting." And he slams his hammer down again. And as he does so, you watch as the Foundling stone just like splits into 3 big, like shattered chunks of it. Did that work? Yeah, that worked. The magic fades from his eyes immediately, like it was never there to begin with. And you watch as these 3 large, like, stones basically emerge from the earth and, like, drawing you in and drawing you closer. Give me a quick second here.
Gravity well.
Oh no.
Oh, those look awesome.
What's the radius on those?
It is huge. You can't really tell, but it is.
Saigar and I are fine.
It is not affecting you and Saigar, but it is affecting everybody else. Where people cannot fly or teleport in their vicinity, as you feel just like the weight again forcing you down into the ground. He is no longer marked. He is no longer blind. He is fucking Shay-okay. Erie, is that the end of your turn?
That wasn't my turn. Wait,
Well,
yes,
that was the end of your turn.
I guess I'm just stuck on a statue now.
Yeah, you just fall down onto the statue. Not thrown, but you fall.
Are Erie's legs strong enough to hold him up?
I'm sorry?
What are you implying?
Erie's strong enough.
You got weak little twigs down there you never use.
Whoa, that's true.
Whoa, that's true.
Legs atrophy. Shade, is your turn.
Alright.
And you can see that the Foundling Stone now being present and material empowers him, giving him a strength unlike what you've seen before. And now there's like a raucous smile on his face, like he's fucking into this now.
Can we hit the gravity welt?
Definitely can. They have HP
They
bars.
have health bars.
Come on.
They have health bars.
But I'm gonna use this ability on Morgaine. You know, I'm gonna load Chastity with you know, the daily power. Holy shit, my music's loud.
Yeah, good. Turn it down manually.
I'm gonna lock eyes with Yolish Ashtongue and say, you know, you think you know the Shadowfell. You're just a fucking human.
Oh, please. I leave particles of people like you as dust in my wind.
Ooh, I'm so scared. I'm gonna hit Yolish Ash. Try and hit Yolish Ashtongue with the daily, but it's gonna bounce off Morgan.
It didn't. Oh, there it is.
Whoops! Oh shit!
Well,
Excellent.
that's okay. We'll always use the first one. So he's no longer blinded. Like as the bullet fires towards him, you watch as it curves, caught in the gravity field, and just ricochets off the ground and like sparks across the surface, right across where like Warren is standing and towards the base of the statue.
He still takes half damage.
He does take fucking half damage. Oh man, it's too bad it wasn't that fucking second hit. Boy, 12,
that would
11, 10. Crazy.
Anyway,
Yeah, he,
Morgaine is now the source of my shots.
Indeed.
And I'm going to just. I think that'll be all right.
At the end of your turn, there is a moment where, like, as he slams his hammer down, you can see the roof above you begins to rumble and shake. And there is a huge chunk of stone that just falls from the ceiling and just crashes down on the ground nearby.
Ooh.
Don't worry, friends. We have ability to ignore difficult terrain. Just don't get hit by one of them.
Yeah, just don't have a rock fall on your head. Saga, can you shoot it, please?
Yeah, I turn to Shay and go, Shay, I bet you that if I hit both my arrows, I will buy you a pint.
Deal.
So I'm going to fire 2 arrows, one at a gravity well, the one closest to Yolis, and then the second arrow at Yolis himself.
Got it.
Wait.
Yes?
The guys near Yolis don't teleport. Or fly.
Oh. It's a good point, actually. Thank you for pointing that out, Cavius.
Look at Yuri and Kai! Look at Yuri and Kai! Hi! We're stuck!
I shoot the one closest to Cavius, and the other one at Yolis. I'm going to try rolling now. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh
my god, the music back on.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, that is rough.
The first one does hit. But again, the same thing. The second arrow just like curves away from him easily. And like even though it ricochets off like a fragment of the Foundling Stone, they look quite
They're a little
durable.
hardy. Damn.
Yeah.
It doesn't do much damage to them.
No.
And as soon as he like sort of sees you, the hammer is sort of just thrown out like Thor's hammer, hits the far back wall, and there's a rumbling around you again as like another half dozen rocks just like collapse down to the ground, and then like returns to his hand and he reaches catch.
Okay, I'm going to move here.
4 damage.
Okay, that's my turn.
Alright,
Okay.
so destroying these stones seems like it's just going to be a waste of... until we hit phase 3. Yeah, might as well. Alright, so... Kyvius is supremely annoyed that he has been grounded. So in order to express his anger in the most constructive of manners, he raises up his left hand, which is not holding the staff, and fires a bolt of crackling black energy right at the king douchebag.
I like King Douchebag.
That is a hit.
Sweet. And then we are going to move, because we can still use our feet, we just can't teleport around, right? These things...
That is correct.
Alright, so we're going to move 1, 2, 3 squares, so I still get my bonus. Although moving right next to a buddy, probably not the best idea, but that will end my turn.
Okay. Morgaine.
I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah, you pull yourself up. There's grinding of machinery. Kind of like spares a glance down over like his left shoulder. Again, remember you're not that much shorter than him.
And then as soon as I get up, it's like in one motion. It's the stand up, and then the sword will just come up and try to catch him on the chin.
Oh damn. That does hit.
And is he marked?
It's up to you.
Well, I want to mark him.
Oh, yeah, then he's fucking marked. Yeah, he turns and faces you fully.
I'm not done with you yet.
There's another moment where, again, just like the hammer is raised up and a whole bunch of stones are just like slammed down to the ground.
Ah! Where did those come from?
The ceiling begins to just crumble and crack. Morgan's at the end of your turn?
Yes.
It's very clear now that even though he is severely wounded, you can tell that like the sort of the guiding sort of spirit to this place, like they're continuing to bolster Yolas Ashton III with their strength, and he does actually get some regeneration this turn. I haven't been rolling to see if his ability comes back. Give me a quick second. Nope. Why is that a fucking +1? Oh no, never mind. Disregard. He looks down at you, Morgaine, with a smile, and then just like in 3 rapid motions, it's just like slam, 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 and they're so goddamn fast that the incredible speed of these abilities makes them near impossible to dodge. You realize that you could throw yourself back down to the ground into a kneeling position to prevent the worst of what he's about to unleash on you, but that would just give him the satisfaction. First attack. 10 versus AC. That's a nope.
Nope.
8
Nope.
versus AC. And then 24 at the last one.
I will... No, I'm not going to fall down for this guy. So I'll take the last hit.
22 points of damage. Yeah. And he, in sort of a moment of like concern and panic, he does actually shift away to get back out of the circle.
Opportunity attack.
Good luck. Yeah, 20 AC.
Get
Let
him.
me make sure I have this set up right. I do.
God, this is a fucking important roll. God damn!
Hit him.
Nice! Stops
Yeah.
moving, you motherfucking awesome!
Boom.
Yeah. That is the end of his turn. You can see that, like, this has not gone according to plan at all for him.
Keikaku.
I shift back 1 square out of his
Beautiful
range.
bastard!
Let's fire off some fucking days.
Whoa!
And if he tries to attack Morgaine, Morgaine is considered to have partial concealment in this zone.
Yeah, that's a fucking hit. Jesus.
As I step back and I cast that spell, and you can see he's on his last legs, I say, I told you, not even once.
He spins towards you and just, like, throws the hammer. It hits the base of the big major statue, and another bundle of rocks, like, fall and crack. These are pre-set up positions, by the way, guys. You're just very fucking... and like another bundle of rocks, and just like one lands directly in front of Ward, and you can see that he gets ready to just fucking rush forward. And then that's the end of your turn? Jesus.
Yeah, I call out, now that I can tell we've mostly humiliated, I call out, remember, don't kill him.
And then Eerie. It's not Morgaine. No, it is just a end of round effect. End of turn.
Just gonna hit him with the thing, and he's gonna make him want to give up because he's tired of fighting.
That would be fucking poetic.
So I'm gonna spend both my augment
Aw.
points, and I'm gonna miss.
Ooh.
But there goes my points.
Bummer. Yeah, no, you can tell that like just getting into this guy's brain is just a really gross place, you know? He's the kind of guy that, like, if he was part of a frat in modern day, he'd have a t-shirt that says orgasm donor on it. It's like, oh man, you just don't want to go in there.
Oh my god.
Shay, do not kill him, but finish him.
I love how many people have said that.
Oh wait, I have a minor action.
You do.
I will yell out to him.
Yolis, it's enough. You are beaten. Put down your weapon. Let's talk this out. I will make my intimidation check.
Oh my god.
Eolus, as a solo enemy, is immune to intimidation.
Damn.
And he says, I can tell that you're getting equally tired, Mayfly. So stop. All of you put down your weapons and close your eyes.
What's he gonna
Shay's
do?
turn.
Close our eyes.
Yeah.
Listen, Yolis. You talk about the Shadowfell, but you have not walked its roads. I have walked its roads. And let me tell you something. What I'm about to do to you is going to send you face to face with someone who I want absolutely nothing to do with. So when I put a bullet right through your head here, you tell the Raven Queen I sent you.
A lot of exposition before the roll. Yep.
Right?
Yeah, you
lay
watch as
down a
like
bet.
it fucking curves towards his hand, and like it leaves that trail of acid in midair, and he watches he just sort of catches it with one big like gauntleted hand, and he just opens his hand with the bullet cylinder and just lets the cartridge drop down to the ground. It says, "So fitting that you still serve the crow. Soon your eyes will be food for her."
Ooh.
Fuck it, Sagaf. Just kill it.
Fuck it, Saga. Just incapacitate
I just had a aha!
him.
Neither of those hit.
Of course
Oh
they
wait,
don't.
no.
Oh fuck.
Doesn't Daze grants flanking bonus, right? Which would bring it
They
to
did
21.
not.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. No, my apologies. By default, you do grant combat advantage, not in the rule system that we're using though. Days is really brutal when it's already you just like lose an action and immediate actions and opportunity attacks.
Okay, that's right. Yours
also-
is different.
yeah.
Got it.
Oh boy, that would have been good though. No, both of those arrows, as like you watch as they streak towards the Foundling Stone shards and just kind of like hit the ground, pulled by the force of the
can I use
gravity
my
that's in
hero
place.
point to make one of them hit him?
Nope, but you can use your hero point to re-roll.
Oh fuck. I would use my hero point to reroll.
I don't know if we can do that. No, you can use your hero point to do
That's fine.
another attack. You can roll again. You can use your at will again, is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry.
You know what? Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, like the first two arrows just like hit the ground, and then like no time has passed where you just fucking knock two and fire two more as like time itself appears to slow down in the process. Like you said. Slow motion as all four of the arrows are in midair simultaneously. And the one hits for fucking 6 damage. Ash, do you want to describe what this last arrow, the very first one that pierces his armor, looks like?
The arrow almost seems to be on flame. It's just our combined anger at this whole encounter. And it shatters his armor in front of, basically it's covering him. But it does not kill him. And he's brought down to one knee.
You know, it's so funny. I actually had a fucking token of him on goddamn one knee, and I didn't upload it as part of this thing. I feel fucking terrible. I can find it real fast. But yeah, no, he fucking immediately stumbles to the ground and he falls. And he goes, "Enough! Enough! You've proven yourself equals."
I
Not equals. Superior.
immediately walk in front of Shay, like standing, staring in the eyes, standing in front of her.
I'm gonna make eye contact with one. What are you doing?
You threatened to kill him earlier. This is sort of a problem of yours.
I mean, he's already dead.
Right, but not deader.
But I know. Yeah.
I'm just
No. You don't trust me.
Do your worst, assassins. Even the blades that you wield cannot end this existence.
I'm gonna spin the pistol in my hand and just pistol whip him.
Oh, odious, forgotten king. We have no quarrel with your spirit. We are here to retrieve an item of great import, so that we may help your people, whomst you have seemed to have forgotten.
Just give me the fucking crown.
You fucking pistol whip the side of his head, and just like it goes partially in and like partially out as he sort of again begins to sort of become that quasi-transparent shape again. Despite
Listen, King, we are here to grant you mercy.
We have no desire to see your spirit depart from this plane. We are just here to retrieve the crown, for the sake of your people.
This has been tasked as a holy mission.
He pauses again and says, "You are not assassins, then?"
We are not.
No.
Well, not
No,
most
we
of
just-
us. Not most of us.
Listen, we
Trying to
just
save High Helm from the
kinda just need your crown to do that.
He pauses and says, "You could have simply said so."
You didn't
mean,
exactly
did.
give us the opportunity.
I mean,
We kind of told you, sir.
you know,
You said to attack us anyway.
all that aside, you were kind of a dick, and it did feel real good to kind of shoot you and beat the fuck out of you.
I give him a smile and say, right, but for someone like me, to get to fight someone like you from history is kind of a dream.
Ooh.
And wasn't this way more fun for you anyway?
He pauses and says, "I suppose that does make sense." Gonna just quickly give him a token here real fast.
No offense to you as much as I can be, but I kind of half expected this to be a whole illusory thing, like that you weren't real.
He pauses and says, "Why would I not be real? The greatest clerics and magisters of the land have made sure that no man nor beast was to enter these sacred halls until the means to my resurrection was complete, and until the greatest arcane smiths in the land have finished their tireless research to bring me back. Here I will wait."
You're playing with life and death, mate.
I got sort of bad news for that whole thing.
Wait a second. Before you go further, I'm just wondering who is leading up this effort, O King Ashtongue, to restore your body. Maybe the lead arcane smith or something?
The sort of crown sort of reforms with that ghostly essence, and like just reappears on his hand, and he places the helm back on his head. And once again, his words are like thunder echoing out. And he goes, "In my time, it was the High Magister Ilbach. I don't know who is in charge of it now, but presumably my son will have appointed only the finest."
Cavius looks at
Are they?
Warren. Cavius looks at Warren like,
Yeah.
You are
we can
from
check
my
on.
kingdom, then.
Yes, we can check on the status of that for you.
I would.
If we have time.
No, you will do this for me.
Of course.
Hey.
Not a
Hey.
problem. We will go back and check on the status of the restoration of your body from the high alchemic, whatever you said earlier.
And I say, yes, we will. And I wink at Kyvius, but it's pretty obvious that I'm winking.
I have a question for you, Yolis.
You will speak when you are spoken to.
All right,
But
so I'm spoken to now.
I'm speaking to you
so-
now, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, here we are. Why the obsession with coming back?
I must know. If the kingdom stands patiently awaiting my return, king to his people, knowing that they would honor me when I took my place at the head of the charge. Or perhaps my armies continue to fight tirelessly in my name until all of our armies lie defeated. Tell me, outsiders, Will I return to a world united, spotless of sand?
No.
No.
Sand's
Yolis.
winning.
Yolis, let
That
me
is
talk
why
to
I must return.
you. Let me say something to you real quick here. So right now, Highhelm is not in a great place. The people are starving. They're hungry. Desperation is around every corner. The sand, it's crossed the waters. You know, it every day inches closer. And as you know, the sand, time is meaningless to it. If it takes eons, if it takes days, if it takes millennia, the sand will cover Highhelm. Your king, your descendant, has asked, the lot of us, and I'm going to point to, Eerie and Warren and Kyvius and Morgaine and Saigar. He thinks that the 6 of us are the key to fixing that. That we're going to bring, the people of Highhelm to a new prosperity of sorts.
Then he sounds as a fool.
I
Tell
mean,
my
I mean,
son.
you say that, but we also just kicked the shit out of you. So who's right now?
We were evenly matched. To this I agree.
You say that. I mean, listen, it was a good fight, right? Like, your hammer's really fucking cool.
He cracks his neck a little bit, goes, I could go again if you're ready.
Listen, listen,
Oh,
listen,
yes,
alright.
do it.
No, ignore the pixie. He just wants to say things.
Did we just have your hammer?
Diplomacy is challenging for one who just pistol whipped him.
Listen, yeah, I did pistol with you. Probably felt a little good, honestly. But I'm sure you're a little kinky. We need your crown in order to complete a ritual to find where Highhelm's next home is. It's not the place, it's the people. I'm sure you'd agree with that.
It sounds, he says, with his voice narrowing, that you are misinformed. First, because I do not wear a crown, and second, because you believe that the fine people of my home would ever retreat. We have built walls and bastions. The second Emperor of Highhelm saw fit to create defenses unbreakable.
Then you'd be proud then. They haven't retreated, but they are hungry.
Then tell my son to dictate that the food should be taken from the hands of the starving ones and given to the best of the generals and those who serve in the military. Those who fight will be fed, the others can die.
Absolutely.
hold up
We
my
will
hand.
relay all of this to your son, but we still require the crown.
You say this, but they all are hungry. The generals, the soldiers, even the king himself, they're all hungry.
For revenge, no doubt.
You are a card. In another lifetime, I would have enjoyed, spending some time with you. But
you would have had to stand at the back of the line of the 400 virginal women who sought entrance to my bedchambers.
You are really flustered, and you are really trying right now.
Would either Shay or Kyvius like to roll either diplomacy for Kyvius or intimidate for Shay to get to the next step of this conversation? You guys can decide one of. Oh, okay.
I was gonna say I would like to assist.
Wow.
Okay, Shay rolled
Does that
first.
cancel out?
Wow. You speak the language he gets.
I am gonna just look at Kyvius and just face aside.
Well, I suppose I don't
Does that
need
do any
to
damage?
assist,
Because
but
I'd
I
like
was
to
going
Infernal
to.
Wrath him.
Listen, King. I'm not from here. Alright. I'm not one of your people. not a descendant of one of your people. I'm from the Shadowfell. I'm sure that you're fucking dead. You've brushed hairs with. Have you been to the Shadowfell in your undeath? Like, I'm honestly curious.
It is not a place that interests me.
I'm sure it's going to. But it's where all the dead go. We wind up there. Your fate is with the person who calls herself my matron, the Raven Queen. And she's, to be fair, I want nothing to do with her. I think she's a cunt. But you might get behind some of the shit that she's got to say. It's up to you. Whatever. Fuck it. Your people are the ones who are going to continue, not you. You're a ghost. Bringing you back is gonna fix Jack Diddley.
If there is one thing I have learned in my time as a king, he says, interrupting you, it is that sometimes you just need to shut up and listen to others.
So that's what you're gonna do.
And I will say that what you believe that you know of death and of the Raven Queen does not answer why I am still here. Think about this.
Probably
I have
doesn't.
seen her.
Probably
I have
doesn't.
known what death is.
Oh. So then we may have something in common to discuss at a future date. Maybe we'll have, someday down the road, I'll be sitting at a table over a glass of wine, talking about life and death and, the afterlife and what it means. Might enjoy that. But right now, to save your people you care, I know you do, the people you care about, the people your ancestor cares about, requires this, the six of us. And the six of us are going to do whatever the fuck we can, even if it means putting you in your place. And we're going to take the people and we're going to bring them to a new home. We're going to show them a sky that isn't High Helm, but a new sky. It's going to be one that's, happy and, the sand is going to go fuck itself. Because, that's what we're here to do. So, an essential component of, this plan that we have, I honestly make half of this shit up as I go, requires, your crown, your helmet. And I'm going to take it.
He pauses and he says, "This is it?"
Why not?
He looks down at lots of you. He says, "That prattle was the most tiresome thing I have ever heard. But
Sure.
You state..."
I cannot disagree with you.
Okay, then how about this, King? We're gonna go save your people. And we're either going to do it with you or through you.
You can't really leave.
I'm gonna do the finger point at Morgaine, or not Morgaine. Yeah, Morgaine. Like,
Like as eye level as I can be when I'm looking at him with this.
He says, "If you believe yourself capable of wearing the raiments of a king, god among men, then by all means," he says, and extends his hand towards the base of that golden statue. And the sort of the lid where the base of the statue exists kind of rumbles and shakes a little bit, and you can see just like the trace of like a corpse inside the base of the statue where the sword has been thrust. But as he does so, there's three objects that begin to shimmer and emerge and sort of like levitate up on top. And one of them falls to the ground with a huge thunk, and it is very much his hammer, where it just slams to the ground with the real Foundling stone drifting over from the phantasmal shape to like cement itself in the hilt of the hammer. And then a moment later, his armor, his full plate, that is made for a man much larger than anyone else. And then also the helm that you've come to retrieve. All three of them sort of shimmer into existence, sitting at the base. He says, "Unworthy, by all means, take what you can carry. and leave this place. And you watch as, without another word, he sort of shimmers out of existence.
Should I fire a
So
warning
here's-
shot before he leaves?
Oh yeah, get him right in the neck.
I'm just
So
kidding.
real quick.
I'm
this
gonna
is how
take
it works.
everything.
No, you are not. No, you are
Oh.
not. Because as soon as you get fucking close to it, you can just feel something deep in sort of the pit of your stomach that you've never really quite felt before. But it is very much somebody who studies the idea of what it means to be a foundling, somebody who is has been ignored by destiny. You realize that this is sort of the very first time that you are coming face to face with something that is destined in a way that has been stripped away from you, where this is not for you. This is for those who are destined to be great and to be a king. And if that is not your destiny, then this is where sort of the story ends. So here's how we're going to do this really quickly, guys. There are 3 items. Everyone can make a single legacy skill check. And for every success, you can take 1 thing, the people who succeed. And if you would be willing to describe sort of what your character does, and we'll just kind of go around in here and kind of do it in order, starting with like Morgaine, then Siger, then Warren, then Shay. But you can only take something that you intend on actually wearing or using or keeping or whatever, in whatever order you guys would like. So like if Morgaine wants, the fucking plate armor, which he can't wear, theoretically you probably want Morgaine to kind of go near the end of this, because you guys know that getting the helmet is paramount to this whole thing being successful.
Right.
It is a difficulty 15 legacy check. Shay is just
there
going to go
you
ahead
go.
and roll ahead of time. So you just walk up and just grab the helmet, and you find yourself
Off
like
away.
shirking back a little. And he was right.
Yeah, I've got nothing to use here, so let me go next for those of you who could potentially use items. Let's try and get the helmet. Nope.
Yeah, you walk
Damn.
forward and just like staring at it, there's something about it where you know that you have been rejected by this path of destiny.
Okay, I've got this.
Do it.
What are you grabbing?
Ooh.
Nothing.
Question before
Yeah.
I go. As I walk forward and walk towards the helmet, sort of a little bit of frustration playing on my face that it feels like I didn't get to ask the king so many questions I had.
Oh my god, right?
Yeah. In fact, just to double check, I yell out, if you're still here, I'd like you to tell me what the hell was. And I wait sort of a second.
There is no response.
It was the Ascension. It was in his notes. He's the only one who's ever seen it on Luna's tour. Sort of the most important thing. Anyway, can you spend hero points after the roll?
You can spend a hero point to take another action, but you can't spend a hero point to re-roll. You can only spend a hero point to change a minor thing in a scene that would have happened anyway, or that is a cool different storyline way for it to go. You can't have a hero point to re-roll anything.
Okay, because that's different. Because when we were
Oh,
yeah,
was
gotcha.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember the standard actions that we've taken, and I remember the fucking bullshit with like the wagon cart full of watermelons or whatever.
No, it was what you told Morgaine was
Okay.
You were like you can roll, or if you and then you told him you don't have to spend it before you roll, you can do it after to always.
Okay, well, see, that's because fucking Morgaine's my favorite. I'm just making up shit as I go along. In this case, you cannot spend a hero point. We'll figure it out after the game.
Okay, so I can't use it in place of a roll.
Can I use
You
a hero
cannot.
point to add +1?
You cannot.
Okay.
Zygar, do you want to go next?
Can I use the perception check to increase my roll?
Nope, you cannot. Perception check would not help you fighting against sort of the tides of destiny here.
Ooh.
Warren, you once again sort of like approach the helmet and just sort of I'm gonna like lean it up like that, like way cooler. And same thing, like as you stretch your hand out, it's for everything that this fucking king was, this arrogant, untenably obstinate douche fuck. There is something about him that you know he was put on this path that you are not.
Sorry, I gotta ask the question still. I know this is maybe tiresome,
Sure.
but what about like wisdom or history or?
So it's a legacy roll. So you should
Straight
already,
legacy roll.
Yeah, it's a so you should already have a bonus to your legacy. So you're asked.
Nah,
What? I have a plus
he
2 bonus to my
probably.
legacy.
Yeah, you do. I don't think Saigar does.
Saigar
I thought
does.
we-
We all
yeah,
got
we all
one
got- we
when
all
we
got
killed
one.
the.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you should have one into your legacy right now, Ash.
All right, well, I guess friends, it's my time to try a roll again and see if I can pick up the helmet.
I like how you fucking talk in character. Time to try a roll, friends. You certainly also do walk up and same thing, like try to reach your hand out, and for everything the fucking douche fucking king said is there is truth to it. It is beyond you. Have you really come all this way for
Morgaine,
for
what?
nothing?
I'm gonna close my eyes.
Oh my god.
Morgaine just stretches out his hand and
Christ's sake.
Yes.
places his hand,
But unfortunately, he took the hammer.
places his hand out, and like as soon as your hand touches metal, there's this sound of like clink clink on metal, and Morgaine's the only one who doesn't realize it because of course you can't feel anything. You don't know really when your hand collides with anything with your eyes closed, so you like push against the helm, and it's only when you realize that your hand has sort of hit resistance. Oh my god, did that happen for everybody or just me?
Nope.
Yeah, it
that
happened.
happened for everybody.
Get out of here, you. There we go. It's only when your hand sort of hits resistance in that moment where you realize that there is something like genuine and solid, and you reach out and touch the helm. And as you do so, there is a moment where all of the soldiers sort of just stand and raise their weapons, and you can very clearly see that there is a moment where that same golden light sort of envelopes Morgaine as he is just filled with this moment where destiny has sort of shifted and changed around him. A couple things. Guess I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a helmet, your only magic item.
Okay.
And Morgaine, you can go ahead and add an additional +2 legacy to your character
Oh.
sheet.
We're really
Dang.
good at rolling, guys.
Ooh.
The thunderous echo.
I'm going to go ahead and put that over to your character sheet.
Take a breath. No, that sort of feels right compared to most things.
And then, like, he grabs it. All of this happens, and he just sort of turns away within his hand and sort of steps off the altar and looks at the group and say, "We got to go to a casino now," and starts
Yeah.
making his way outside the room.
Yeah. All right.
I shout back out, if I have time left, I'm going to come back and it's going to be really awkward when I come see you again
Because I don't
and
know
ask you about the howl.
The voice trails back. 500 virgins. No, I'm kidding.
And
people-
I think we agreed. It's time to.
Wait, no! I turned around and I tried to grab the hammer. I
Yeah,
tried to
Shay-
psych him out.
Shay will be the last one to like leave, and like as she's like leaving, just kind of like look over her shoulder towards where everything was going on, and just pause for a moment, and then just shake her head and just keep moving forward.
Okay. It's a fairly long walk to get back through the royal crypts, guys. I mean, I know there's a cool dramatic moment where like there was the one person who was like capable of reaching out and having this destiny sort of like force around, but it's again, it's a very long walk where you guys tread back through the Myconid room where there is a whole bunch of like mushroom gunk on the floor and very clearly like the signs of these spores still trying to spread out a little bit until somebody's going to come down here and cleanse that shit with fire. And it is a long walk back through that the sort of ancient forge room where there's still just chunks of molds floating around everywhere to make the crown. Presumably now you understand something that would be fitting for the King Ashtung III. Never succeeded, of course, but just like very clearly this is where it was done, and why it was ever done in this crypt, who knows? And then past the room where there's on opposite walls the two cities where one of them is being just taken out by the flames of a volcano and then one sinking beneath the waves. And then back up that slow, rickety sort of wooden elevator again back to where there's a whole bunch of ghosts floating around their various graves and crypts and trying their best to sort of solidify enough to lift the marble and try to do their best to duct tape their fucking tombs back together essentially with their spectral gunk. And you guys make your way back out of the crypt, traveling back up through the upper levels where there is signs that there is a garden growing inside this building somehow. There is the couple of other wings that were never explored. One that was the one that was filled with kind of like the local lords like House Odinoth or House Odinost rather, and House Glaren. And there's the other side passageway that leads down into that gardeny area. And you guys make your way back out outside, I assume.
Yeah.
Friends, how much time has progressed? How much time do we have left?
Oh, it's been about 4 or 5 hours, I would say.
Is it the
Yeah.
next
Hungry.
day yet?
No.
I imagine it's like
No,
in
we worked fast on this one.
It was pretty quick.
Back to High Helm then.
Seems like that would be best. We don't need to make any stops along the way, right?
I have a stop that I want to make on the way to this casino.
Yeah, we got places in Ion, but on the way, sort of different.
This helmet's I would assume stands out a lot. If I were to wear it in town.
It definitely does stand out. It's very much like it's not special looking, but anybody who of course knows the imagery of the king would certainly recognize what they're looking at for sure.
Who has a bag?
I have one better.
I don't think
I will
we can.
cast Shrink on the helmet.
I don't think we can hold it, can we?
Nobody else can touch it other than Morgaine.
I guess I'll try to like clip it on my belt loop under, like try to hide it behind something. I don't know, conceal it upon myself.
Eerie can still shrink it even though he can't touch it.
Nope, I gotta touch it.
Gotta touch
Nope.
it. No.
Gotta touch it.
It's not like fairy dust then.
I was gonna say also an object imbued to allow people to not even touch it would probably be a bit resistant to those kinds of things.
Yeah, in any way I can, I want to store. I'm not gonna wear this helmet in town.
Listen, there's really nowhere for you to store it, as far as I understand. You're pretty much well. He doesn't really have fucking big baggy bell bottoms, right? You're kind of a travel light guy.
I just don't need supplies most often, so I don't have like a bag or a belt. And I guess there's no way I can really like just sort of like clip it on or carry it on. So like fuck.
Shay,
I just have a helmet in my head.
Shay, you look. Can you not make a bag of holding?
It might take me some time.
Oh, right. Also, I totally forgot. I didn't realize. This slipped my mind. It's been about 5 hours. You guys went in there around. It was about 2:00 in the afternoon, right? So I guess if I'm being, if I'm going to be legitimate, like I guess it's fucking dark.
Oh, that's very dark.
7 o'clock is dark.
That's so dark.
A light? Anyone?
I can see, so I don't know why it's dark to me.
Because your token wasn't on the map with your
It's
new-
metaphorical darkness. You looked inward and you saw black.
Is the corpse of the ageless still there?
Yeah. I mean, it's
I did my
quasi-mutilated.
whole-
Oh, for fuck's sakes. No, do it. I don't care. Fucking do it. I took it away from you the first time.
Just to spite you now.
Should
Do it.
we take our 15-minute break now?
This is a great time for it. Absolutely.
While we're sitting here bullshitting.
Yeah, like I guess just for reference, deal, I wouldn't put it on my head, because I feel I would think like Morgaine would think of make him stand out. Yeah, that. So he's probably gonna carry it like a football, just try to conceal it a little bit.
If I
Good.
give him a backpack, could he put it in that?
I mean, that's a tough one. Do you...
It's a pixie-sized backpack?
No, normal person-sized backpack.
I mean, I think it's important that we establish what our characters have, but yeah, you can fucking toss them a goddamn
I mean,
tiny shrunken backpack that you
I
zoom
mean-
up to full size.
I have
Oh
anything.
no, of course you can just create. Yeah, just create anything. Fucking whatever. What am I thinking? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, until you lose concentration and it fucking just falls out of the ground with your illusion being over. Yeah, fucking whatever. Go nuts. But as Zek has mentioned, let's go ahead and take our 10-minute break now, and I'll see you guys at 5 after, okay?
10-minute break. 5 after. I need to like learn to make an AFK stream.
Why couldn't one of you roll a 15? I wanted that hammer.
Listen, like God, who would have thought that many of us would have failed?
I'm really shocked about this not being able to reroll thing. I had planned many things around.
Oh, man. Well, we'll fucking talk about it after the game. I'll stop bullshitting and making shit up in the middle of stuff. But yeah, on that particular roll, it seemed appropriate to me.
That one makes sense. I thought that one absolutely. I mean, because rolling legacy is already like pulling into the Foundling, so it doesn't make sense to like use it more. I get that. I'm cool with that. I was more worried about it being never reroll ever with it. I was like,
This is the point, the 10-minute break here, where we have like a bunch of fucking art of our characters getting displayed.
I need to at least make like a we'll be back at this time, just so like if anyone swings by they know like they'll be back in 5 minutes. I think actually I was looking up things for that now, and a couple times because of stupid fucking autoplay, a couple like little bursty music came on because preview of a hyper animated be right back, like, and it has to play like silly music. Honestly, everyone on Steam probably just thought I was watching porn on my other screen, so.
Cool. See you guys shortly.
Yeah.
And I want to think my fan art's just a toaster with like a bikini because it's a sexy toaster. That's the Morgaine fan art.
Free stream overlay library. That should work. I don't need an overlay though. I just need an image saying back in 10. Everyone's gone. I'm talking to myself. All right, I'm gonna go get a snack. Who's come back at 5 after, right?
It'll be like 45 more seconds, but yes. Almost done, guys. Thanks again. Sorry, guys. Rosie made cookies.
Oh, I see those too often to still be excited about cookies.
Fucking delish. Is everybody good except for me? Because I'm good now.
What's delish?
Rosie, fucking delicious nookie cookies.
Nookie cookies?
Yeah.
What are nookie cookies?
Yeah,
Sex cookies?
That name's almost as good as Snickerdoodle.
That should work for you.
I mean, I'm not sure it's this dark at 7 p.m. at night.
It's
We're in a
winter.
forest.
In the winter.
Aren't we in like a bunch of trees and shit though? That's why it's all shady.
Fine. You know, you're right. God, I'm just trying to make some atmosphere. We all back?
What if we stand here for an hour to get it atmospheric?
Present.
Cool.
This
Claire.
music is really great. It reminds me of like the Sylphlands in Final Fantasy IV.
There's music right now?
This feels eerily similar to some fucking Final Fantasy XI shit that plays whenever you're like where you shouldn't be.
That's
Yeah.
true. Like in Change of Promethea.
Yeah, just I don't know. Wandering
Well, we are
around the
foundlings.
overland.
We shouldn't be anywhere.
Is Claire here?
It's Claire
Yes.
Cool.
What are we
I am
doing?
here.
Cool. No, you guys, as we reconvene here, you all make your way outside of the of that sort of the royal crypt, leaving it all behind, and start making your way back down to town. Are there any planned or discussions that are going to be taking place here before I fucking launch into more narrative?
Fuck yes, there is. At least for me, unless Kyvia said something there.
I mean, I was just gonna ask a question, but I mean, yes. So I was gonna I was gonna.
Mine is
converse
very
here.
long.
But we were gonna walk and talk, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's also, I mean, you guys haven't really eaten. If you wanted to fucking like sit down and nosh some rations, for example, and just like have a moment, this would certainly be the time for it.
I'm
It's a good
good.
time to use our healing surges as well.
Focused. Laser focused. Fucking Morgan has already done so.
I was just gonna say that it seemed that some of you were, at least somewhat, either familiar with this casino or had some kind of plan, and I was wondering if you or someone else could kind of sort of clue the rest of us in.
I know a person that might be able to help us with the plans to the casino.
I too know a guy.
Well,
Could we elaborate?
I think it's best left unsaid, Cavius, for all of our good. For the good of all of us.
So it's best for all of us if we don't know the plan that all of us are participating in.
Oh, listen,
No.
we're gonna make a plan. It's just don't ask questions.
We'll make a plan to get the layout and the blueprint of the casino. Just don't ask how we got it.
we don't need to know the details. We're sort of, it's more like, what are we doing
Yeah.
when we get there?
I think, and I'm not sure what Shay has in mind, but I can get the layout of the casino ahead of time, so we can plan a strategy and attack.
I think it's going to be twofold. I think there's going to be a group of us that are going to be creating a distraction. I think there's going to be a group of us that are going to be infiltrating. But we'll figure that out once we get there.
No,
Shall we?
We got a long time to get there. That's why we're talking and walking.
I mean, is there any specific things Warren or Kyvia has in mind?
Yeah, I'd like to know what the fuck we're doing.
For instance, if we're gonna infiltrate, and an important thing will be, you still got that shard, Saigon?
I still do, yes.
That's a good backup plan.
What would you like to transpose?
Well, if things get desperate, let's say we get our hands on the object itself, right? But we can't get out with it. If you tap it with the shard, we still got a chance to keep it.
We can escape, and we can always transpose later.
I also thought it would be cool if maybe you just like stuck it on the end of one of your arrows and shot it like down a hallway, and then I recalled it to my hand and then we ran. But I don't know if they keep
that'd be
around.
really good use. I don't know if we can do that or not, but that's something definitely to keep in our arsenal.
Well, we got time. There's something I wanted to talk about, but it never really seemed like we got the right moment.
Go ahead.
So, I sort of bring out the arm a little bit and kind of look down at it. A long time ago, you know, before this happened to me and before all this happened to us, when we were kids, we had a little run-in with some fake creatures. You remember?
I mean, how can we forget? Are you talking about in the theater with the music and the
Yeah.
God, you know, it was so funny. At the time, I just remember it as great fun, but we could have really been hurt.
Right. Well, a lot of stuff happened then, and I mean, Kyvis, you've had your own visions. Whatever you experienced, whatever you saw in that pool after that. I'm rambling. I feel like we deal with fate a lot, and it didn't dawn on me until we fought at Caterpillar. That turned into a bowl and rolled. But you remember when we all played Imagination, and the creatures turned and the music turned into these things that we could see.
Yeah, what? God, you know, I can't. I can't believe I didn't go back and ever find out. That was. It's such a vivid memory, but I just never questioned it or went back to find out what in God's name that was. It was. It's really, though, it's one of my fondest memories as a child before everything just turned.
Yeah. It's sort of taken a darker turn for me because those images happened when we were kids. One of the visions I saw was of a giant stone golem atop a train making a massive swing and toppling it over. One of the visions that Shay had was she tried to shoot a creature, but it turned into a caterpillar and rolled in a ball and flew away. We saw the future in there.
Wait, when you had visions during that fight?
Well, not visions, but when our imagination turned into things and the creatures turned into things. Like, remember whenever Saiga kicked one and it threw through the roof and made a blast off noise and made a little twinkle in the sky?
Right.
Like that. Well, one of the times they turned into the caterpillar that we killed up there, and one of the other times they turned into the golem that we killed on the train.
God, how do you remember all that? It's so long ago.
Well, I like putting things together.
Well, then what? I mean, that is creepy as hell, but what? So what else?
Yeah.
What else? I mean, I'm trying to remember, but what else did we see then?
I sort of take out the notebook that I mentioned before, that where I wrote like monster abilities, and I have to flip through a couple pages, which are just like look like my doodles, like to a list, and I start reading them off, and I'm
His
going.
enemy command materia.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get a good screenshot. Oh, damn it.
Morgane's been pretty quiet. How's he dealing with the stroll back holding this helmet?
He's been awkwardly quiet. He turned around in that room and said, "We need to go." And for the rest of the time, it's been a downward stare. Like he's just watching where he's stepping.
Morgane, you alright?
What?
What do you mean, what? You know what I'm talking about. I see... I see the dents. You alright?
Oh, this? That's nothing new. As he bangs against his chest a little bit to try to, like, force one of the plates to be more straight.
What did you see when you grabbed the crown?
Can I try to fix it?
The crown's fine.
Was that a
Those were
question
a
to
minute.
me or to Kaz?
Both.
Given time, given materials, a couple of hours, maybe a day actually. Yeah, you could get those done, so no problem.
But his response to you was, "The crown's fine." Yeah, it doesn't look damaged.
And you hear over Warren reading off this list. No? Lich blasting with dark energy, there was a monk that had different forms, there was a Yeti arm and a swaying rope bridge, and all of it sounds like nonsense, but two of them happened.
So, how do we? And I'm assuming we're kind of off in our own world discussing this while they're having their discussion. And I mean, so the imagery is there, sure, but I mean, how do we use this information? I mean, being cognizant of it is one thing, but it doesn't really give us a path forward, does it?
No, I don't think it's very helpful, but unless we run across something familiar, but it's just I don't know why we keep running into things that seem to know what's going to happen in the future.
Oh, you know, I've been traveling around, and honestly, I think that the advantage the car have with it, the entire setup they have about seeing pathways forward and making decisions based on that, it's something that I'd absolutely like to pursue. It's just I've found it extraordinarily difficult to crack that particular code, and it's, you know, maybe it wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if we have time right now. We're on the clock, and we don't want to take any chances. But by God, it certainly seems worth investigating, going back to that place and trying to find out just what that creature was.
It's just worth knowing because
Like,
one
and what
of
you
the
like,
ones.
and Kyvius, like, just so you're aware, Warren, like, he has like you have his full attention. He is like ka-chunk. Like, this is a passion project.
I in sort of that enthusiastic voice. Yeah, no, I cross-referenced a lot of different wars and the fights the car have ever been in, and their reliance on this future sight is ridiculous. If you look back at tons of different fights they've ever been in, places they've taken, it always happens within 24 hours a day, never more. They seem to strike with perfect clarity. You'd think that the car actually would probably be pretty bad at warfare without their knowledge. Like, it's just, I don't, they've relied on this for so long. He's just, kind of talking back and forth with you.
I think we should absolutely, after this is done, make it a priority to go back and find out if we can find any clues, any kind of information about what it was we fought when we were children. Just, if we could get some kind of edge here, that would really help us.
Yeah, and the one that strikes me as most important is we saw Fandon twice. He's the elf with the gas mask who's currently taken over Ion. And he was trying to kill us both times. And one time he had a dragon.
Wait, do I know who that is? Have I seen him before?
Most people know him by name, but after it was revealed that Javi and the king had this plan where they were funneling all of the military resources into this crazy idea for a ritual, most people didn't fucking want to hear it. They just wanted to basically say, well, like, your archmage is playing fucking games with our lives.
Yeah.
Get him the fuck out. And the king was basically like, okay, look, you've been eccentric and fucking, what's the word when you're old and your faculties don't work any longer?
Senile.
You're unfortunately senile. So we can't like kick you out because you're technically dragon chosen and blah blah blah. But certainly you are unfit to lead. Shay, do you really want to be fucking wandering off alone on this map?
I mean, I'm right here.
Okay, I'm just checking. I just watch your token moving around, and I just wanted to clarify that you're scouting out ahead of time before I'm talking this conversation. Okay, so and basically the result was like the people had appointed this former general, the one who sort of became the head of the military after Kiovasan was done, and his name was he was just a soldier previously, and then he became General Fandon. There was something about the peace treaty that was brokered with the Ka to begin with that he took responsibility for, or that people believed that he was responsible for. So the king had initially said, like, no, it was us, but it kind of came to light that the military believed it was Fandon who had sort of made this happen, and he's now the person who is in charge of High Helm in everything but name.
Huh.
And I guess I better go ahead and pop a picture of him for you guys real fast.
He's a scary.
I'll go grab his picture in a second here while you guys continue your conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should go back there. I absolutely think we should go back there and at least do an investigation if we can.
Yeah, no, it was the first place on my list if we got extra time after
You said
we finish.
Fandon with a dragon. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was.
Are you sure it was a dragon?
No, I admit, sort of, kind of. No, big winged creature that breathed. No, yeah, I think it breathed dragon breath of acid and flame.
Or it could be a
Almost.
worm instead of a dragon.
I nod. It could be. The images were mostly vague. But if you remember, back in that place, there was a section of the museum called the Dragonarium. So.
We need to go back there. Like, I need to go back there. My God, this all happened when I was a child. How could I have forgotten? So much happened in the car. I feel like a fool. It could have been right in front of my face the whole time. Jesus Christ, Warren, where have you been the past 10 years?
he just nods, you know.
Wow! That guy's not
Yeah.
evil.
Like a
Yeah,
good
he's
guy.
totally a good guy. Benevolent ruler of High Helm right there.
The fucking...
From the people for the people,
I will
right?
generously take over from your senile king and be absolutely benevolent.
Never mind my elf and gas mask.
And my evil dreads.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be commanding the Protoss Legion.
Yeah.
Back to Mass Effect 3 with me. Yeah.
And you
Is
could
he very
like, Kyvius,
zealot in
you're-
his belief?
You could like he's like he's like it's almost weird. He's like beating himself up over this. Like he looks distraught at this revelation.
It's okay. I mean, I spent 9 years fighting monsters with nobody around me to share any of these thoughts with, and I always remembered that, when we were kids, you always wanted to be smart and a big deal, and I knew that if I ever met you again, I might be able to work things out with some help.
No, you just don't understand. Warren, you have no idea how much I respect you, but you didn't have a... You weren't given what I was given, and you pieced it together without anything. Like, I'm an idiot. I'm a complete doofus. I just need to think about this for a little bit. Warren, thank you. I truly believe there's a reason that we all came back together. I truly believe there's a reason that all of us need to be together. And once again, you have just absolutely reaffirmed that belief. And I have tried for a very long time to do it on my own. I've tried for a very long time to try and see what I could do, but my God, I am not going to accomplish anything of significance without you and the rest of the people here. I'm just flabbergasted that something that was right in front of... Thank you, Warren. That's all I have to say. I'm just going to beat myself up a little bit, but thank you.
I nod and I look like I'm not exactly sure how to reply, and I kind of give you a smile and kind of walk away. When we got time, we can talk about the visions you had and compare notes and things.
And he gives a kind of long sigh and says, unfortunately, the things that I've seen is the one thing that I cannot talk about.
Oh.
I'm afraid of saying anything more than this. I was given a vision of the future with the knowledge that should I share any of it, it would lead to disaster.
Cavius, are you allowed? Was this vision given to you with the hopes that you could somehow alter it, or is it supposed to?
I do not think there was any kind of entity or motivation behind. You guys, I was a child and I was angry and I was stupid and I grew up with this. I grew up in this family where we had this, well, a sense of self-identity, and as the car, just in that short amount of time we were there, began stripping away, I was a child and I lashed out. It was an accident what happened to me. It wasn't supposed to happen. And so I don't think anyone gave me a vision of the future. I think I accidentally saw something that I wasn't even supposed to see. I don't think there was any kind of maliciousness nor benevolence to it. But along with the knowledge of what came to me came the absolute 100% surety that it didn't say anything about working against a future that I saw, but any kind of revelation of the information that I was given, all of the branching timelines basically ended in complete disaster, in utter ruin. And so that's why that is, and I don't mean to be so absolute about anything. And listen, you know how gabby I am. I can't stop myself talking right now. So this is really hard for me. It's the one thing for the past 10 years that I've wanted to share and talk about, and I absolutely positively cannot.
I think that's fair, because
It's not fair! It's not fair! It's not fair! It's a fucking burden! Sorry.
I think you found it, because, I mean, if there's one thing we've done, we've already changed one future. All of the call, whenever they invaded Thornberry and got on the train, all of them saw them getting away with that. That was given by Memnon.
Absolutely. Listen to me. The future is not written. I can tell you that for sure, because something I can tell you. And I don't know how close the conversation with Morgaine and Shay is happening, or if they can
We've probably gotten... I think we've probably just gotten progressively louder, and anyone who wasn't participating now is kind of watching.
But for a second, I'll tell you what I can say. There was one thing that I saw, and I know that the future can be changed, at least in some capacity. Because when I saw us together in the future, one person was not there.
I look at Morgaine.
And that was why, and if Morgaine is giving an indication that he can hear, that was why I swear the minute I woke up, Morgaine, I did everything I could. I did everything I could, and I couldn't stop it. I tried with the medicine, and I tried with the Serothian, and I tried with the I tried.
Davius.
I know. No, listen,
Stop.
I'm sorry. I know. I just want you to know that I knew, and I'm sorry.
I'm tired of listening to people complain about what happened to me. I had to live through that for 2 years. What's done is done. Now I live with this. And for a long time, I was angry. I was scared. But if I get back into that past, I don't think I'll come back.
Well, to me, just so you know, to me, I'm not living in the past anymore. Because now that you're here, now that you're with us, you represent my hope for the future. Because you weren't supposed to be here, and you are.
I think you have a misunderstanding, Kyvius. I'm not a hope. I'm not special. I'm just lucky.
I think it's fine for you to think that way, but you are my hope.
I don't know if this is the very first time it has ever been said, but certainly it is the very first time that I think it's happened in kind of like primary conversation where Morgaine used the phrase like, I had to live it for 2 years. And some of you get a glimmer in this moment where, even though for most of you, it's been 9.5 years since the events when you were children, this is the very first time that some of you are starting to realize that it hasn't been 9.5 for Morgaine.
He hasn't had the 7+ years of experience the rest of us have. Just life experience, I mean.
Are you saying this to the channel or in character?
I'm asking the question to you directly.
Oh, I'm just a disembodied voice. Woo.
Oh no, the ghost is back.
Hi. Right. I mean,
Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sour the mood. We were just massively successful at our first task, and we should continue on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's not. I'm getting it under control.
No, it's not your fault. I'm just... I don't know. I haven't been right since we entered in that room. There's a lot to think about.
Well, anytime that you want to talk about it, I've got an open ear, my friend. As I said, I cannot imagine what you are going through. I cannot imagine what you've been through. All I can tell you is what you represent to me, and how overjoyed I am that you are here now.
He's not gonna... Morgaine doesn't respond to you, but you see the light in his eyes soften just a tinge while staring at you.
On we go. You'd nod to him.
Yeah. Got a job to do.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. You guys continue to make your way back the 2 or 3 hour walk back towards the city of High Helm, which again is not as it's not as without fault as perhaps you remember when you were kids, rather, because even from this distance you can see like the black smoke curdling up through chimneys, and the fact that like a lot of people keep their heads down even as you get close to the city where the traffic starts to reappear on the roads back in a little bit. And there's lots of gossip and talk that you hear about things like this is the wrong map, I'm sorry.
we talked to the cat.
Yeah, I'm the worst
Who
at
else
this.
would you talk to?
There we go. Lots of indication that like there are more bandit raids on the outside of the city that there have ever been before. There are certainly people who are just desperate for work. There are beggars absolutely everywhere. You travel past a kinku, one of the sort of the crow people who one of the mendicant kind of bird people that kind of haunts the bridges and back alleys of the city, and he's kind of crouching in the lee of a building, and half of his feathers have been plucked or eaten away by disease, and there's raw stumps of new growth just kind of poking irregularly through the bruised skin. And her eyes are milky and blind, and she's singing a sort of song because the Kenku cannot speak. They can only mimic the sounds of other people. And this kind of noise that it makes is a mimicked rhythm of the city, kind of a counterpoint to the noises all around her, incorporating like cadence of speech and the creak of wheels. And it's all punctuated by the sound of coins landing in a dish, even though the small little kind of coin bowl at his feet is entirely empty. So just a hopeful noise. The city itself it was very much a place when you were kids where you saw the grand technology and sort of the steampunk beginnings of industry, and you believed when you were children that this was like the greatest nation on earth. And it probably still is, but what good is that doing it, and for how long, and does it even matter? There's a group of adventurers who walk past the other direction. They all have tattered clothes and wounds, and they're supporting each other and just kind of trying to find directions to the local apothecary. And a couple that walks past bickering. Their husband paid way too much money to a local shop, and they're just complaining about everything. And there's just something about the city, like when you get to the city gates and you have to sort of wait in line to have a chance to get back in, while the Granite Guard, not, I shouldn't say the Granite Guard, but the city militia sort of searches peoples and carts and checks for weapons and things one at a time, and make sure that there is no ivory tinted currency, nobody who's coming in with like rings on their arms, for example, making sure that everyone like pulling up ankles to sort of see the legs underneath to make sure that it's not just descending into mist for the lower half that might indicate it's the true blood of the Ka. And when they are comfortable that the people ahead of them like are not illumined, or they're not bringing in any of the Ka influence of their city for propaganda or items or anything, they're finally allowed in. And it's a very slow process as you guys are just sort of stuck in line here.
Do we think I'm going to have a problem here?
We got our writs.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, he gave us like a get out of jail free card, didn't he?
I know, yeah. Does anybody spot any of our saved soldiers around, just by happenstance?
Oh,
I could roll a perception check to see if there are any soldiers around.
I'm
Smart,
assuming
smart,
I
smart.
stand pretty tall over the generic crowd.
You're huge.
Can I see any of them looking over the heads of everyone?
You're still a ways back in a couple of minutes. Yeah, probably. But as you get closer to the line, a couple of things happen. The first is that you're kind of still just holding the helmet kind of at your side, and you notice that there is a point where there is an old man, another one of the beggars outside of the city, where he sees this and he pulls himself to his feet on like knobbly knees. You can tell it hurts him, and his eyes are glassy and full of tears. And he pulls himself all the way up, and with his one good arm, he gives like a shaky salute.
Damn.
I would pull myself out of line to help him sit down again.
I look at this old person.
So like I would like in my big Warforged body, I would sort of even if I have to get out of line. Sir, please don't.
He sort of stammers out a response, and he goes, I recognize that.
It is quite a beautiful helmet.
He is returned to us. He will save us the way the king cannot.
Have hope.
And he again nods, again eyes glassy, full of tears, and sort of pulls himself back down, but his mouth is agape, and he never stops staring.
I will try to help him down as best I can. And if I have to go to the back of the line, I'm going to the back of the line.
Yeah. Saigar, you are sort of pulled out of line as well for a split second, where there's a couple of like kids dressed in peasant attire, and they rush up to you with a bit of charcoal essentially, and a big long parchment that's been rolled up, and they ask you if you'd be willing to sign a petition against the king. Going to be some anti-poverty laws here that we're going to get passed. Can we get your name, please?
I pause for a second and I kneel down and nod, and I sign my name.
Need to show your support. Thank you, sir.
I look at the rest of the group and just kind of little small smirk on my face, but I don't say anything.
Okay.
I'd look at that smirk and I'd totally try and see what name he signed.
I imagine it was Sycar, probably, right?
Last name?
No, I think probably just fucking Sygar.
Damn.
I mean, Ash, you can correct me, but like that's your name.
That is my name.
The other thing is there's a couple of like, and they're the big, like, from the Northlands, from the Brave Lands, couple of Viking-esque soldiers that like kind of glance over their shoulder, the kind of commotion behind them, and they one of them sees you, Kyvius, and you probably don't have your hood up because you've been traveling for so long, and he sort of nudges the other one, mumbles something, and he glances back. And then after a moment, the first one clears his throat and goes, so, what do you call two tieflings that kill each other? And there's a pause for the joke, and he goes, humanitarians. And they have a good guffaw at this. And then a moment later, the other one goes, what do you call two tiefling siblings? It's an arranged marriage. And they have a little chuckle at this, too. What do you call a tiefling and 3 rams? An orgy. Just sort of back and forth like this for quite some time.
I would love to see them say that in front of Keo Varson! If she was still around, of course. Bless her soul and her protection of this city. I would certainly be mortified if I were to sully her name at all, given what she gave up for Highhelm.
Go ahead and roll your fucking intimidate for me.
Intimidate? Okay.
Can I?
But it feels like an intimidate. Yeah, what's up?
Alrighty.
Whenever he makes this joke, can I like lean around just into visible range and assist with the intimidate roll?
You do like the 2 fingers, like eye to them.
I'm getting a lot of people sending me private messages to ask if they can make skill checks again. Just a quick reminder, you guys, unless it's a fucking secret that nobody else can know, you can just ask. It's hard for me to keep reading chat and also do everything else as well. So if you guys have things that you want to say, by all means. What was that word? I'm sorry.
I just would like to assist with the intimidate roll by leaning around the corner and,
Oh, yeah, by all means. Go ahead and get an intimidate check. It is difficulty 13. You're never going to be able to do it.
All right, here we go. Wait, so we both roll? Okay, here's number 1.
He just gives you a +2 bonus to it.
Okay.
He rolls as well, but it's going to be above 10.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Please roll above 10.
Jesus. Would you be willing to just really quickly tell me precisely what that means?
It means that the hidden goo arm and because they were making fun of tieflings because tieflings look weird.
Yeah.
So the goo arm and the eye and the sort of the edge of the and a little bit of spider web off one arm, I just lean around the corner and let that all show like slowly for the briefest second. And I drip some of the spider web into the arm, and it kind of like dissolves a little bit.
Yikes.
Oh, God.
And then I dip back around the
My
corner.
God, you're an eldritch horror.
Yeah, they take a look at kind of like the two of you. Look of disgust crosses their face for a moment, and then they decide they're going to keep their faces forward and their mouths shut just to avoid this getting complicated.
Give Kyvius a little smile.
Turns over to him and he goes, that is incredibly useful.
I know.
For more ways than one, really.
And there's a couple of people that are kind of working their way up and down the line where there's a very shaky hand looking artist where he's just kind of going from the front of the line. It's very clear he's got like a little cart that's being pulled. by basically like a halfling child that's kind of been roped to this thing as best they can to sort of serve as like a makeshift beast of burden, where it's set up as like a
The halfling child is the beast of burden?
yeah, basically. No, it's not like a slavery or anything, but like they're in this
Oh, they're
together.
like that. Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. This kid is probably like 13 years old, and then the artist is probably about like 23, 24. But you can see that there's very clearly like he's afflicted with something where his hand is super shaky and he's not doing so good. And they probably take turns on this thing based on kind of the sizes of the different harnesses that are attached to it. And it's now sort of like the kid's turn to pull for a bit. And they're both just super gaunt and sallow, like they are both starving to death. And he's just going down the line and kind of offering to draw your caricature for 25 gold pieces. Anybody, any takers at all, and is just kind of trying to find anyone that's willing to part with such an exorbitant sum of money to basically keep them fed for a month, presumably thinking that like just one is all it's going to take to keep them, fed for sometimes of small little increments here and there.
I'll do that.
I
you
was
really?
gonna say,
Yeah.
I was actually gonna give the money as well.
I'll give him 25 gold and get him to draw a little picture.
He says, bless you," and he begins his very best and spits in his hand and then dips it into like some dried old paints. And Saigar, do you guys both have 25 gold pieces?
We have a bunch from
Yeah,
the from the
Oh,
We have
yeah.
a lot,
Right.
but we never split
We
it
never
up.
split it up. Yeah. No, but okay. I was like, I
Ooh.
didn't think I had.
I just assumed it was evenly divided.
No, because like we talked about it. We're like, do
Oh.
we divide this when we go shopping?
Oh, we should
or
talk about this.
do you guys want to divide it right now?
Yeah.
Either way
just
works
for
for
now.
me. Yeah.
Because I
Because we
can
got-
tell you of our pool, each person has 47 gold.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's a big hit.
The only reason I think it's worth dividing now is because for supplies we have a writ from the king. So like, if there's a personal project you want to get, like we got gold. But if not, I mean, we're about to be traveling for a long time.
Gary, do you want to go 50-50 on this?
I mean, I suppose that works.
All right, you can give 12, and I'll give 13.
Yeah, that works for me. You guys dig deep into your pockets and find some wealth to go ahead and sort of split this with these essentially these two beggars who the character work is not caricature work rather is not very good, but they get to work on this. And
So I know good character work.
oh, okay. And as they do this, there's another merchant who's kind of making his way up and down the line, and he catches sight of Warren and goes, "Aye, elf, give you 50 gold for that shield."
I mean, that's a generous offer, but I need it to live. I pat the
Well-
shield.
Well, pass it over then. Let me take a look. We could go as high as 75.
No, it's not. I shake my head. It's not a sale thing. I'm not really in need of money.
He sort of just like fucking throws a fist and goes, "But even to a damn elf to think they're better than you."
It's kind of nod.
He kind of just moves on down the path. And as you get close to sort of the front now of the group, you certainly can see that there are some spots where like the crowd is beginning to sort of gravitate to one of the different little paths to get into the city, and on one of them are certainly some guards that you guys do recognize.
Hey,
Yay! Save us. Get us in.
are they the ones on our path that we're walking on?
Oh, very much so.
Okay. Well, the good news is we'll be unaccosted, I suppose.
I hope so, given what we've encountered so far.
No, this might be weird, but it's been a long time since I've been at normal civilization. It's a little unsettling.
Well, people are weird.
I laugh when you say this.
Especially those that attach monster bits to themselves.
Fair.
Just don't eat anyone now that you're back in civilization.
I swore off people.
Oh, well, so good of you to come to that conclusion eventually.
Right as you get to sort of the front of the line, the character artist proudly finishes the picture and hands it over to Saigar and to Eerie.
Zygar's is pretty good.
Yeah, and it's like it's a pretty good likeness.
Some point that's not too bad. Did you just do that on the fucking fly, you psychopath?
No, I had every possible combination of characters ready to go. No, and there's a piece of parchment that is handed over to you that has the both of you on it, and it's doable, sort of. You can kind of see the resemblance, although
it's a masterpiece.
And they look like just deeply appreciative and start making their way like back to the city with the 25 gold pieces. And
wait, sirs, could you please sign this? You never know; it could be a work of art in the future.
The man nods once and then signs with a very shaky hand. It's hard to even tell what his signature is until you really look at it and realize that the name that he has signed is Spree, Spree, and then like underlines it once, and then like just nods his head to you and starts making his way back in the city. And you guys get to the front of the line at last. And pretty quickly, I'm gonna just zoom past this. You fucking spent enough time standing in line in D&D.
I'm gonna ask one of the guys question before we go through,
right?
Because we know them.
Yeah, absolutely. They see you and are basically like, 40 minutes in line. Thank you, Jay. And they're like, yeah, no, like they'll get you through here, no problem. And then of course you get the writs as well, where it's an easy process. What do you ask?
I look up at them, and I know things are changing around here. But let's say for some reason you wanted an audience with Foundling, what would be the best way to go about it?
They sort of look at one another and go, he doesn't really reside in the Rune Keep. You could potentially speak to Cultain Swilane, who is sort of in charge of the day-to-day of the palace, and from there perhaps schedule a meeting, but he doesn't really see people. He only sort of responds to the generals in the military that has taken his place.
I nod a little bit. Suppose as a general, got it.
Is this something about the Ageless? Is there some kind of greater threat that we should know about?
No, I look at each soldier. A lot of your lives are largely in his hands. I'd sort of like to know the man that is responsible for whether a lot of you live or die.
They pause a little bit, and then one of the soldiers says, well, he's ensured that I have a sword and a shield and a plate mail, and frankly, when it comes right down to it, that means my life is in my own hands. So I think he's done his duty, at least in my eyes. I mean, he was the one who gave us these 10 years of peace to begin with, so it's certainly better than any of the alternatives.
I heard a little about that. He was really responsible for brokering the deal.
He was the one who spoke in secret with Tobias. What's the name of the mage or whoever was from the car that was snooping around here that one time? And he thinks for a second and goes, Welk, I think it was. It was right. So General Fandon spoke secretly to one of the high-ranking officials, and they brokered the peace treaty together.
Oh. Welk is a sketchy fellow. That is risky.
But it worked, and frankly, it could have been more than 20 years of peace if our king hadn't decided to piss himself at the celebration and demonstrate to all of us what a weakling he is.
So Fandon has your loyalty then?
They look back at you and go,
threateningly.
yeah, they look back at you and go, we're loyal to our brothers in arms and our families, and that's... We've learned to not throw down our lives for somebody in charge, and frankly, Fandon, I would say that to his face. He is a general, and he's a damn good one. And if war comes again, I trust him to lead us to victory, or to do what he did before and find a solution where there isn't one.
I kind of half mutter. I'm not sure if they can hear, but like it sounds like treason.
No, I as they're partway through their like whenever they say they stand for themselves, I immediately give them like the equivalent of like a salute to and just very emphatically. No, absolutely. You stand on your own good 2 feet. They're worth a damn more than anything else.
Main thing we've learned is that the city is named after a damn crown, and we don't need one of those. We just need to stand high ourselves. Not that I'm hoping they're going to be at our doorstep here anytime soon.
Right, well, I say as I start to kind of move on. You know, one of these days we'll be fighting side by side against things, I hope.
We'd be honored to have you, he says, and nods sincerely and like a little bit too enthusiastically, head bobbing up and down.
Yeah.
And you guys make your way into the city now?
Yep. Sorry, had to do military things.
That's okay. Where's the destination?
We look at our two.
Our two people who would not share.
Yeah.
No.
It's about
No.
8 o'clock now. It's getting a little late. About 9 o'clock, I'd say.
So, saying that we have about like 24 more hours, it's probably best to do the operation tomorrow night, right? So, I propose, how about tonight we go quickly to the casino, maybe just a couple of us who don't really plan on doing all the sneaking around and stealing stuff, just check out the place, just see what it's like firsthand.
Makes sense.
I'm
I guess
that
I can
makes
go because, well,
I'm gonna keep walking, and whether the party's following me is up to them. I'm gonna head in the direction of a place that I know.
Yeah.
It is a shop called the Clockwork Moon.
Mhm.
And what do I find?
Well, that was very abrupt. I would love to know if the party is following Shay blindly or not.
I mean, we call out to her. Where
are you going?
Yeah. I mean, fuck it, I might as well be honest. So, I've not been like the most honest of people. So you remember when I told you guys that like I found like I came to hear from the Shadowfell, right? Like I wound up being like adopted by like a kind like old gentleman.
Oh.
No, you said you fell through. There was a
Yeah,
like a ritual.
yeah. I did, and I went up in like an alley, and I was looking up at the sky and shit, and like I cried, and I think I remember telling you this.
Yes.
When we were children.
Yeah, and I was like adopted by like an older dude who like kind of took me in. Yeah, he was a really good like tinkerer, and he taught me a lot of like the shit that I know. He ran like a clock repair shop, but yeah, he was really good at stealing shit.
Seems fair.
I didn't think that would be an overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like a conflict of skill. Actually, no, I could see how one could really complement the other. Do you think
imagine if you.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, imagine if you had a pawn shop, but everything you got you took from someone else.
Oh my god, that's a brilliant thing. You can fence anything. That's great. Do you think he could help us?
So yeah, how about that? I haven't seen him since we returned from the car, and I kind of fled and haven't seen him in like 9 years.
You never went back. Oh my.
No.
Oh wow.
But yeah, he was kind of like a father to me.
What did you steal from him?
Does he know if you're alive?
Probably not. Yeah, real awkward here.
Should we be here for this?
If it's a private matter, I mean, we can just stand
Yeah,
outside.
we can like bugger off around
I-
the corner and yet not listen in closely to everything being said.
Listen, all right, like, you know, listen, you've all seen me in some pretty like low moments here, like, uh, mm. Y'all can come with, but like I want you to understand this may be like an emotional moment for me.
Got it?
Yeah.
But thankfully,
So-
you don't do anything rash like lash out or anything when you're emotional, so it should
No.
be fine.
Yeah.
So Shay, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I have an errand to do, so I will not be following you in.
That's fine. I figured you would. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I have no idea how he's doing. I haven't seen him in probably like 9 years.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm gonna head in the direction of the Clockwork Moon.
Saigar, you're heading off somewhere else?
I have some business to attend to. I promise you it'll be worthwhile.
And you don't.
Well, we shouldn't just go alone.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that.
This is my backwater. I should be all right. I'm heading to a store in case you need to find me called Odds and Ends.
Listen, dudes, if I know anything about Saga, yeah, he'll be fine.
All that said, why don't you guys go with Shay? I'll go with Saigar.
It's so good we always just like split up the party.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I've got it. You go with Saigar. Lauren goes with Shay. Then me and Kyrus will both split up and go somewhere
Oh,
else.
yeah,
on our own.
3 parts. It would be
yeah.
great.
That sounds like
Yeah,
a great
four
idea.
parts.
Actually, no.
Wow.
Do it. No, even better. Eerie, divide yourself, and we can hit another location at the same time.
I kind of wanted to go find Fandon so I could split off too, and just
6 parts.
Yep. All right. We're gonna make Steel's brain melt.
Yay. So is anything that anybody is doing particularly secretive they would like to keep from the rest of the party?
I think at this point, like, who's following me?
I would follow. I would follow. I mean, like
I think-
Saigar seemed like he was not allowing us to follow, so I would just go with Shay
Yeah.
for support.
My question still stands before anybody else asks any other questions. Is anybody's business secretive from the rest of the party?
My business is fairly secretive.
Okay, then you and I will talk. Fucking send me chats, and I will try to respond to you when I can. And we'll have a moment. Just do you know how to send whispers in Roll20? Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know how to send whispers?
Yeah, I've done a few.
Oh, good, because I don't fucking know. Who other than Saigar, who departs and without any kind of like, we'll meet up here in how many hours, just sort of bails on you guys.
I feel like when he disappears, like I just kind of like give him like a half like nod, half salute, like all right.
Before you keep talking, Zect, does anybody else have anything they're doing that is secretive from the rest of the party?
Nope. Not Kyvius.
Like
Who is-
I know Saigar, and obviously tell me if I'm overstepping bounds on players here, but I know Saigar would want to be alone, but
Right.
Morgaine wouldn't want them to be alone. Like if he saw Saigar going on his own, he'd be like, "No, that's not good."
Sorry, I'm just typing.
And he would want to, he would try to follow or keep up with Saigar if he was just straying off on his own. Because he knew, like, Warren, Eerie, and Cavius would be with Shay.
Okay.
Now, he
Cool.
can try to lose me, but Morgaine's intent would be like, no, it doesn't matter if you want to be alone. We're on a mission right now. And we can't, get super separated.
Okay. Sorry for my pause here. So, other than Saigar going off by himself, Warren, you were going to say something as well?
I was thinking, and I was like, no, not now. There's stuff after we finish our missions, but not now.
Definitely.
Oh boy. Oh fucking Ash, that's a all right. So the rest of you are following Saigar then? Or following Shay rather, other than Saigar who's going off by himself?
I
Yes.
thought I just said.
Morgane is following Saigar.
Morgane's kind of lumbering
Sorry.
and following.
There's some private messages. Okay. Got
Okay,
it.
yeah. So like my intent is Morgane would follow Saigar even if he protests because he would believe it's a horrible idea to have someone just go off on their own. If Saigar wants to ditch me, that's something, yeah.
No, I
But
won't ditch
he's
you,
going
but
to try to
I
follow.
I will ask Morgane once we're at the shop that you let me connect my business inside, and I will come back out to meet you afterwards.
Just yell if you need help then.
I will do so.
Okay. You guys start making your way to where the Clockwork Moon. Um, Shay remembers it as sort of as best she can. And there's a couple of wrong turns along the way at a couple of points. And at one point in time, you guys see those two kids that were still trying to like get the charcoal signatures to like raise anti-poverty laws. They like see Shay and like the rest of you, and like without Saigar there, they come like scattering over and they try to get more signatures from you guys as well.
I don't know
Again,
anything about this. I just signed the paper.
Yeah,
Same.
just sort of trying to sign against the current king Yolitashim IV to try to like funnel money into the poor, basically.
So wait, so they're signing against
Yeah.
Eolas Ashtung. So he not publicly deposed? I guess I would ask. As we're walking, I'm just wondering, like, I asked him because Warren seems to be up on the political situation, or maybe Shay is, but like,
Doesn't have any power left.
wasn't Ashtung deposed? Isn't the de facto king creepy elf guy?
I mean, listen, like I haven't really been like up to date on, current politics. Also, looking at the kid, I don't like being handed things, so you're gonna have to hand it to a Warren.
Oh my god.
To
He's
make
your
both-
he's your Pepper Potts, isn't he?
Both of the kids like look at you like offended, and they're like, "This
No.
is important. You have to sign it."
Listen, I understand that it's important, but at the same time, I can't be handed things.
At the
Give
same
it to
time, I can't
Warren.
be handed things.
Listen, listen, you
I
little,
like these kids.
I love these children.
listen, you little shits.
That's a bad word. One of them
Oh,
says.
yeah.
Yes, well done.
Can you please hand it to my secretary, Warren, and then I will sign it.
Can you?
I leave my arms
please
folded.
stop being a huge jerk and sign it, please.
I'll
We'll
scribble.
follow you.
I'll scribble my name on the line.
We can't even read it. One of them says, "Sign it better."
Maybe you should learn cursive.
Okay, wait. I actually do need access to my gold supply because each of these ones need a gold piece.
And like,
The fuck taught you writing?
you guys get to where the Clockwork Moon you're pretty sure was located, and it's this fairly nice little 3-story building. It kind of looks like a cobbler shop almost, on the corner of a very nice little district and street, and it is closed down. Like nobody has lived there for years.
Oh no.
It's very clearly like dilapidated and boarded up, and like whoever was there is long gone.
I'm gonna give one knock on the door.
No, you knock and there is no response. There's a long silence. You sort of move some of the dust off of the window and peer inside. It is dark and shows no signs of anybody living.
Can I break open the lock on the door?
It's a fairly busy street. People would certainly see you, but you sure could.
What about like a side entrance?
Not really. He wasn't really a fan of side entrances so much.
Cavius, Warren, can you guys cover me?
I mean, I can hold my writ out really threateningly.
I could try and talk to anyone that came and tell them a story about what you're about to do, so I could try and spin a little tale. Are you gonna break in?
Yeah. You're gonna see like no hints of like amusement in like Shay's eyes. She has to get into this building.
Both of the kids immediately start shouting like, "Hey, this lady's trying to break into a building! Somebody get the guards!"
I just gave the two of you a gold piece. Are you seriously going
One
to
of them,
rat
like-
us out?
One of them sticks its tongue out at you. Damn right.
Hey, listen, kids. Do you know where the old man who owned this building went?
One of them looks at the other and then looks back at the first one and goes, "What's it worth to you?"
I will pay any price. What is it worth to you?
One of them points at your head and says, "Give me the goggles. Then we'll tell you."
I lean down on one knee towards one of the kids and look him in the eye and say, "This whole city's been torn apart by, this sort of horrible place. And, I don't necessarily think it's worth contributing. We're just trying to get through, I cast a spell on him.
Oh.
Oh,
He is mind fucking the boys.
Oh, that's not good.
that is
That's not a success at this
Nope.
difficulty. It's DC 13.
Yeah, that's a medium.
So
These little fucking kids are jaded little cynical shits, and they just
Yeah.
like shake their head and be like, "No, I want those goggles," the boy says. "They would look way better on me than her stupid white head."
Ooh.
without blinking, Shay just pulls the goggles off her head and just tosses them at the kid. Tell me what I want to know, and then I'm gonna unholster my gun, or I will kill you.
Whoa.
Kid like puts the goggles on his head, like no, on his eyes, so he's like wearing them. And he goes, "See, this is how you actually use them. You don't just put them on your forehead, you stupid."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, follow me. And the kid says, and they lead you off down into like sort of the more really poor stricken like slums of this.
Warren, if you get the catch, like I'm gonna whisper to like Warren as we're like following these kids, like if you get the chance to like punch these kids and get my goggles back, like let's do that. But like just shh.
A nod.
Oh
Just hit
god.
a kid.
Give a shit.
And you guys start making your way through dark, cramped streets that are lit only by these low burning, smoky tar lanterns in kind of the shittier part of the city. It's a place where like the casino is located this part of the city as well. This is sort of where the museum was. It's really a place where you can lose your shirt at a gambling den, or your teeth in a back alley, or your innocence at the brothels, or your life with one wrong word to the wrong person. But luckily, that wrong person is currently helping lead the party down into these sort of darker tunnel areas. Can everybody make me a perception check for me really quick? Who's there?
Wouldn't be me.
Yeah, I'll be really terrible at this, but why not?
Just whoever the lowest person is.
Oh, the lowest? I
I
think it's me.
I'm only plus.
Well, just go ahead and make a
one.
perception check.
Okay.
Right now, Kyvius is the lowest at 11.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see what you meant.
As you guys are walking, Kyvius, you're the last person. Everybody else kind of like jumped out of the way the last possible second. But as you guys are making your way into the very, very dimly lit back alleys here, there is a drunk that comes tumbling out from a nearby tavern called the Whetstone. And he looks at you, opens his mouth to say something, and then vomits right over your right shoe.
Jesus Christ. Did you have to?
He goes, "Oh, sorry, Gov. Bit too much to drink."
Yeah.
Yes. Now, would you mind cleaning it up?
No.
I would thank you for asking, he says, and starts to make his way down the alley.
I am completely ignoring what happened, and I am following the kids.
Yeah. And like this Whetstone Tavern that you passed looks like a nice place on the inside. There's like a big wooden globe that dominates sort of the main sort of tavern interior. And there's a couple of an elderly dwarven couple who are just like scampering around, like look like they're running the place by themselves. And as you get further and further, finally there's you come to this 2-story stone building that is totally unmarked, There is no sign of it being called the Clockwork Moon, and it's a simple, like, single-person set of doors, and the kids stop, and they go, right, well, this is it.
This is where the old man is. And you know who I'm talking about, right?
They look at each other. Probably, think.
I gave you these goggles in
Take a
good
couple
faith
steps back.
that you'll give me good information. And I want you to know that if this information is not good, I have skills that I've obtained over a lifetime.
All right, Liam Neeson.
That if you're wrong, I will use them. I will find you, and I will get my goggles back. I'll be
The
clear.
kids begin to one of them trembles a little bit. The one is like, I've got skills that I've acquired over a lifetime.
Yeah. And I'm gonna shoot right next to his foot.
Yeah, he fucking jumps back as the bullet fires and like it rings out in the dark alley and just looks at you in horror as like the smoke rises from the
And
spot.
then-
and then I
and-
imagine you just
and
try to
then
like go in.
As he's jumping, and be like, and then go inside the establishment.
Can you roll your insight for me and then your athletics or acrobatics, either one?
Oh,
It
that's
is
interesting.
it is DC 20 for both of them.
Can I just as these two rolls are oh, never mind.
You turn and you walk right into the darkness. And right as you do so, you're just trying to find like a light somewhere. Right as you do so, something hits you right in your fucking ass. And the rest of you see there is a big red spot that is growing on Shay's right butt cheek that you think is blood. And then a moment later, there's another one on her left butt cheek. And both of the kids have pulled out slingshots and fired these little red pellets directly of the little paint directly to Shay's ass.
You little shits!
And then there is a voice that goes, "Enough!" And you hear that there is the sound of an elderly man as he goes,
Like, literally are hearing like a revolver like cock in my hand.
and he goes, "You have just been killed twice," old man says as the lights turn on. He steps forward and he says, "What do you have to say for yourself?"
It's so I think it is.
It is, absolutely. This is your father figure. And he says, "Undetected, easily brought to a trap, and killed by two children, all the while talking about how you have the situation under control. Pathetic."
I don't think Morgan and I are here.
You are not. Boop.
I drop to my knees and just kind of like lay on.
There is a long sigh, and he goes, "Oh. Scheherazade, would you like some tea?"
Yeah.
"Then you should have brought some," he says, and he walks back towards the counter.
Warren, I
Oh.
would just like a front row seat and some popcorn to this because this is fascinating.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. He walks past first of all, and then gives a small little like metal token to each of the two kids, who like stick out their tongue to Shay one last time, and they go scampering off. He goes, "Well, your arrival certainly wasn't a secret."
I'm gonna like slowly like be like like bringing myself. It's it's been a while.
Indeed, it has. I hope this isn't a social call.
No. Listen, old man, it's been a while since that night that I just disappeared through the bedroom window. When we returned from the car. I honestly didn't think I would get the chance to say this to you, but I'm sorry.
His hard features soften a little bit. He says, "Well, are you too much a grown woman now to give your old man a hug in front of your new friends?"
you're gonna kind of like watch like Shay kind of like do like the stone face thing, and then like just like she's gonna like bite her like on her thumb, and you're gonna like slowly see like like the walls kind of like start to like come down just a little bit, and like she's gonna start crying a little bit, and she's just gonna run in and just embrace the old guy. And it's just gonna be it's gonna be like a really like good like tight hug.
Guys, don't tear your eyes away. We'll never see it again.
I know, this is like the strangest and weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It is returned. I'm gonna go ahead and fucking get old man's card here for you guys, but it is returned in very, very clearly like an equal amount of love. And it's one of those like really long, genuine father-daughter care about you hugs. That this elderly individual who he looks like he is probably mid 50s. He looks stoic, and his attire is very extremely well put together. The best way to describe this individual was that if this was a modern style setting where James Bond could have a Q or a he would be right at home in any of those old modern spy movies where he looks like the old distinguished gentleman. And the shop itself is not full of sort of the clockwork toys and things that Shay, you remember from when you were a kid, but rather it looks like half of the shop has been designed for him to sort of bring in students to sort of teach the art and bring in new apprentices, and the other half is a more traditional forge. Like now that he is leaning towards where the money actually is, which is weapons of war. It looks like he hasn't started like to produce weapons and armor or anything, but it's very clearly this is a position that he has moved to because the thought has been on his mind. He says, "So if this is not a social call, are we all business then?"
I'm so sorry.
"Oh, there," he says, and pats the back of your head and ruffles your hair.
And you can kind of like see like Shay just kind of like it's a little emotional for. She's not crying, but like a little welled up. I thought the worst. I'm
No,
I figured it'd take a little bit more than that to to kill you.
kill me, heavens! What sort of life do you think I've been living? He says, and takes a step back a little
What sort
bit.
of life do you think I've been living? I know you know.
Takes a step back and looks up and down and goes, "Is that the clothing that you wear on a day-to-day basis now?
Yeah.
This is how you chose to garb yourself? Well, you are a grown woman. You can make whatever decisions you would like.
Excuse you?
Probably my fault for giving you dresses when you were just a young one.
What does that mean?
It means you never really grew out of your rebellious phase.
And what does that mean?
I nod extremely hard to Kyvius.
Are you going to introduce me to your friends?
Right. I know this is something that we talked about. Like you actually kind of like see like Shay kind of like shift to like a little bit more of like a like kind of like almost like girlish kind of like right we you talked to me about this when I showed up I've got some friends now. This one here with the silver hair is Warren. I know he's only got like one arm, but like don't let that fool you. It's got a super cool goo hand.
He takes a step forward and he goes, "Which one would you prefer that I shake, young man?"
I bring out the right one, and then as sort of a little jest, I let the left one out. The left one isn't for shaking; it dissolves things.
How
He nods a little bit.
incredibly impolite.
I know most people don't ask. Most people look weirdly at the left arm like it's a handicap. I shake his right hand with as firm as I can.
Oh no, listen, this is old man.
He's got a weirdly fucking solid grip.
My 8 strength feels intimidated.
this wooded hooded glassy folk next to him is Kyvius.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I've heard almost nothing
Don't
about you.
don't worry about the rings. We've yet to figure that one out, but he's not daft.
A
I'll
pleasure
leave
to
it.
meet you too as well, Cavius. Is that your preferred name?
Absolutely, yeah. Although, if your friend is Shay's, you can feel free to call me Kai.
I think I like Cavius, he says, and nods once.
It's
And
got a
then
nice ring,
the
Shay.
the tawny floaty one with the Buccaneer's hat is that's Eerie. He's Warren's compatriot.
It's a pleasure to meet you, old man. Now, excuse me asking, but that's a very interesting name. Are you from around here? You from the north? Where are you from with that kind of name?
Nah, his name is Old Man. Like us. That's it.
You can just see like the sides of his cheeks, just like his mouth tightens a little bit, like he's trying really hard not to smile. But with his back to Shay, you can tell that this is clearly a source of great amusement. He goes, "Indeed, young sprite, I was born old man, and I shall die old man. It is the only name I've ever known."
It must have been weird when you were not old.
You have interesting parents.
It is one of the greatest mysteries of my time. Now, tell me, are you a sylph, a Firdarig,
Ooh.
one of the Bean She, perhaps?
No, not me.
A Trow?
Not a lot of people know about the Fae.
What do you know, old man?
Only that, he says, in turning back, only that the pixies need to follow the laws of their kin when they come to this world. For example, can you enter a building without being asked? Can you touch someone if they are holding salt in their open palms? What if they have a nail in their pocket? Does it repel you?
Eerie?
Yes, I'm fascinated to know
Well,
as well.
just some things I kind of have to watch out for, I guess. But
Are you like a vampire or something? Like salt?
I shake my
Don't be
head.
ridiculous. Vampires are garlic.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
yeah, everyone knows that.
No, it's not that weird. If you've been to the Feywild, I mean,
Anyway,
it's topsy turvy place.
to kind of inform you all, just kind of like blanket here. So you remember when I like kind of like wove the story, after I shot, Mother Dearest in the head, blah blah blah, pancakes, etc. You remember I told you that like a kind like old guy kind of like took me in.
Right.
It's this man right
It'd
here.
be weird if it wasn't.
He looks back and arches the brow and says, "You told them I was kind.
In a
It's
manner
too
of
late.
speaking.
You can't take it back." He says,
Yeah,
"Back to you."
I suppose I can, but you kind of like see like general like look of like just like frustration with like just trying like words with this man. He taught me everything I knew about Rios and a lot of the stuff I've kind of like done for you guys.
Do you think you could provide Shay with proper materials so she doesn't have to fend off monster parts?
What?
He says, "I taught her everything that a father should be teaching a daughter. I certainly did not teach Shay everything that she knows."
No, some of it I picked up on my own.
I just feel like your potential's wasted, Look at all this. This place is amazing.
What do you mean by
It is
potential?
quite an operation.
What do you mean wasted potential?
I mean, like, the fact that you're good at making stuff, but you don't got nothing to make it with.
Where the fuck am I going to get it?
I gesture around. Yeah? I don't know how this works.
It's quite the facilities, yeah.
It's pretty nice. What happened to the Clockwork Moon?
It was necessitated that I needed to move. With the shifting of power means that too many people are focusing on the wrong individual. But I don't want to get into that now. Have you found any news about Riel or Torque?
No. Found out about Polonius, though.
Ah, so you already know.
I do.
Then I suspect you should charter a ship immediately. There might still be some life in that suit of armor.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Is that what you're here for?
No.
And then what business?
As much as I want to cross the sea and run right back into Tijol Palace and look for Polonius, I don't think that that would be the most sane of things to do right now. It's a dream that'll have to haunt me for a little longer. But right now, I need your help.
I
TLDR.
assume.
TLDR. Uh, Yola Sashtung IV wants us to steal an item of value from a casino called the Devil's Due. It is Holtonsey. So I look at my notes.
Mhm.
The lamp.
He nods and had muttered, "The only ash tongue, in my opinion."
I look at Cobius and it's like, if only he knew we met the other one.
I know, right? He probably wouldn't think very much of him like we didn't, though.
It's the staff, right? Or the jewel?
It's the lamp.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
lamp.
lamp,
The lamp.
yeah.
The lamp.
The box, the gold box with the lamp in it.
Okay. He wants us to heist the lamp
A lamp from within the vaults, yeah.
from within the vaults. And there's two parts of this. Maybe three. Can't count. One, when I came here, I needed to know you were alright. Seeing the shop like closed up and boarded up, like I gotta admit I was a little bit worried. I didn't want to see my dad, kind of fucked. Two, we need to steal the shit out of this thing, or apparently everybody's gonna fucking die of like desert poison. And three, we need to steal this thing without anybody finding out. Question mark. Yeah, and I figured that you would probably be the best source of information for that.
Which information exactly? You think I visit the casinos now?
Shop is a pistol, you know.
Honestly, like I thought that was I thought that would be kind of an irrelevant bit. I figured that you would be the person that would know the most if I needed to know anything.
It seems to me, he says, with a moment, that what really needs to happen here is that you need to stay for dinner, because I am not about to discuss robbing a casino with your three friends sitting here, standing in my lobbyway, admiring.
You say three, but there's two more.
You have 5 friends, Shay. I never would have guessed.
Sometimes 6.
There you go. He says that winning personality finally paying off.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry to disappoint. Or a point when whatever.
And he smiles big again and he goes, "You're staying for dinner. It's not much, I'm afraid. Just hot rutabaga soup. I wasn't expecting a crowd. And then we will discuss what I know about Gaspar Tormagan's casino."
As Shay kind of like lifts her finger to like like make like a protest of some kind, like you can just hear like that. I'm gonna go see what's over here.
We our friends don't know we're here.
Yeah, how,
He pauses and says, I will send for them. Before we get too far into that, I've never had the opportunity to be an embarrassing father figure before. Would you like to see some baby pictures?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And as
No.
he sort of escorts you over to a set of a staircase that kind of leads up to the living quarters of this building, he goes, so you've been traveling with Shay Long then? Tell me, how do you handle her at night since she farts in her sleep and all? And on that moment, I want to just jump over to the other two because um, we are running low on time here, and you guys have decided to travel with Morgaine kind of hanging out in the back a little bit, and with Saigar traveling very with great intent into, again, very much sort of the seedy part of the city here. And
We should time check to see if anyone like has to work tomorrow.
You mean
Yeah, I
keep going.
have to work tomorrow. Yeah.
Or has to like cut it early.
cut it at a regular time, you mean? What you're asking is if we go 15 minutes over, is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
That should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Benji.
Yeah.
Wild. I know you got to get up super early for your job. Wild is gone.
He's
What-
just
what?
fucking
Oh,
playing.
sorry.
He's playing with his fucking hair.
Okay.
I moved my headset and stopped paying attention because I thought like nobody would ask.
I keep forgetting that Steel can't see us, so like I'm making
Oh,
all these
right, I'm
facial
sorry.
expressions and gestures and everything else, and he has no idea any of that's going
I
on.
have no idea. No
But
idea.
like, I'm watching like Benji like with his like, oh my god, how are you wearing that without like sweating your balls off?
What?
What do you
Because
wear?
we crank up the AC big time.
Oh god.
Yeah, we love our AC here. Like we like layers and covers and yeah.
I've like rolled my sleeves up and like see I'm like fucking wild like wear like a fucking hoodie playing with this goddamn long ass girl hair. I'm like, ugh.
Give me a quick second here.
Sorry.
No, quite all right.
Where are we going, Saigar?
A little shop called Odds and Ends.
This does not seem like the part of the city where you'd expect a cute little pawn shop to be located. You're getting a vibe.
How on a 1 to 10 scale, like 1 being holy fuck, people gonna get murdered, to like a pretty nice part of town. Where are we?
Is there any
Oh,
justification?
it's like 1.5.
I'd say it's probably 2 or 2.5. It's not that bad.
Cool.
It was probably 2.5 last time you were here. It's a 1.5 now. It's not great.
It's my neck of the woods, though.
I thought my neighborhood used to be run down.
I don't have a map for this. So I'm going to go ahead and do like a nice one to show you guys what you're missing. There's, as you sort of travel into like the slummer, darker parts of the city, eventually you do come to a place called Odds and Ends, and inside it is there are people who are like fucking smoking on hookahs, and it's very much that stereotype of like the shadowy quest giver at a table somewhere off by himself, and you can see that there the sort of the drink of choice is called 4 Feet Under, where it is a big giant like glass cask filled halfway with liquor, that there is somebody who looks like they might be a half northern or half troll. It's got it kind of just slung over one shoulder going from place to place. And the drink's name of choice comes from the fact that 4 Feet Under has a dwarf skull floating inside this cask, that people are just like taking big mugs full of in this, what is not a tavern. It's actually a shop, but it has that kind of like tattooing hive of scum and villainy kind of general feel to it. And Saigar basically just like strolls right up to the counter, where you can see behind it is all manner of weapons and armor and odds and ends, and lots of documentation put in like tiny little cubby holes and labeled with sigils that you don't recognize, that look like it's a language that is again something that you wouldn't be able to study or learn. And the proprietor sort of waits for you to speak first. Are you both entering the building?
Well, Saigar said he wanted me to wait outside, right?
Yes, if that's okay with you, Morgan.
Okay, but, if anything goes down, I'm in.
First thing I will do to holler for you.
Okay, and then if there's a door, he's standing right beside it and listening intently to the inside.
So I go inside and I sit in front of the proprietor and I turn to him and I say, "Istai Persevic Jirai."
He looks a little bit taken aback, and a moment later, when he sees your action that you take, sort of nods once and goes, "Come with me," and takes you back into the back room where the door closes down behind you. And the answer to the question is yes. Like in this situation, aloud, can I say? Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I want you to go ahead really quickly for me and give me just a straight up persuasion check, please.
Persuasion check, okay.
Persuasion check, please. Yeah.
It's diplomacy.
Oh, I'm sorry, diplomacy. Yes,
I was going to say, like, I don't see persuasion.
I know. I'm running a different edition. I'm running Werewolf on weekends. Difficulty 13. That's not good enough. You certainly have access to the information that you're looking for, but it's going to cost you, and you certainly know that you would be looking to part with a fairly significant portion of your resources in order to acquire what you're after. Are you still going to do it?
Price is not a concern.
Okay. There is a sum of money that exchanges hands. You certainly had already proven yourself to this individual, and with that, you begin to start making your way outside of the odds and ends shop. Meanwhile, Morgaine, who is standing outside the building, you notice that there's some attention that has sort of been brought your general direction, because even at this point in time, you still have nowhere to put the crown. You have nowhere to put the helmet. There's a couple of individuals that have noticed this and started to just take up positions at sort of the end of the alleyway on either side. One of them makes his way up to you and says, Warforged, you're not allowed to own property.
And he will lean down. I don't want any trouble, and I don't think you want any either.
I think we make this very simple, the man says. You either give us the helm or its worth, and we don't have to report you to the guard. And he gestures to the obvious fucking thugs at both ends of the alley.
Am I joined Morgaine at this point?
In just a moment here.
And I'll stand up and I'll look at both the thugs at either end of the alley and look down at him. You didn't bring enough thugs.
Yeah.
They descend upon you immediately. Just go ahead and give me a fucking either a warfare or a strength check.
I'm so proud of you right now.
You do emerge outside of the building. And if this is not how you would depict Morgaine doing this, by all means let me know. But two of the thugs are already laid out. The third, Morgaine has a hand just on his chest and has just slammed him into the opposite wall, leaving a very vaguely thug-shaped outline on the fucking opposite side of the wall. The last one comes just rushing towards you, Saigar, just blade out and just leaps at you. Same thing, just give me either a warfare check or an athletics or acrobatics.
Give me an acrobatics check here.
Yeah. And I want to say, if it's appropriate, he at no point draws his sword. He's doing this non-lethally.
Same thing. One of them, one of them leaps towards you, Saigar. Yeah, and you just jump, just kick off the nearby wall, just grab the thing, let him fall. And we have talked about how Morgaine does not draw his weapon. Do you, in this moment, when this thug runs at you, is his life forfeit for attacking you?
No, I don't draw my
Okay.
weapon.
Okay.
But
Yeah, no.
but I am able to knock him out with my kind of like a kick, if lack of a better word, as I kind of careen off the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very fucking Black Widow martial arts esque as you like jump off the side of the building and aim a kick to the back of the neck, and down they go. And like a moment later, there's like 4 more that appear at the ends of both of the back alleys, and they all just start dispersing back into the darkness.
He's Black Widow, not Ronan.
Man, I had a fucking roll all ready to go. It was gonna be a crit. It was gonna be so good. Nah, you fucking murdered those guys.
And I'm gonna look at Saigar. You done?
In Saigar's hand is clenched a long, like rolled up blueprint.
Yes, Morgaine, we got where you came from. Thank you for the assistance. I underestimated the area and what has become these days.
Well, it wasn't that bad. We should go back to the rest of them.
I agree. What was the name of the Clockwork Moon?
Clockwork Moon. I think I remember the general direction they were headed in, but not
All
more than
right,
that.
I say we make haste, given the fact that we're gaining quite attention here.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I don't have a map for any of this. This is going to just continue to be the load screen here forever, guys. My apologies. you finally, it takes about an hour. The fact that you guys didn't have a meetup spot, and then it turns out that this place is not the right location, means that you guys sort of just wander lost for a little while. But thanks to Shay and Erie and Kyvius and Warren being able to describe the two of you so succinctly, within about an hour's time, there are a couple of snot-faced little kids who tell you that they know what you're looking for, and they'll lead you exactly where you need to go for a price of only 2 gold pieces apiece.
Paintball.
I'll look down. I'm like, what about
One of those rain goggles.
piggyback ride?
You'd recognize the goggles on one of them.
They say 1 gold piece and a piggyback ride.
That sounds like a deal.
I say skip the goal and just the piggyback ride.
They cross their arms like 2 evil twins in perfect simultaneous rhythm. They say 1 gold each and a piggyback ride. And you're the piggy.
Can I roll a stealth check to grab the goggles back?
You could roll a thievery check to grab the goggles back.
Sure, why not?
It's only difficulty 13.
Only.
I'd notice these are Shay's goggles, right?
Oh, for sure.
You definitely would.
How about
Ooh.
Oh, never mind.
No, you're like, how about, hey, listen, those are Shay's goggles. What if and then immediately Cygar's like hand snatches out and just pulls them off and like pops them on your own head. And the kid's like, that is.
And then it's like the kid's like protesting, like, Saigar. I imagine Saigar just like punches the kid in the teeth, like, ha!
They're not.
No,
nobody
no,
is
no,
rude.
no.
Wrath.
No punching.
Wrath.
No.
All
One
right.
of the kids goes, that was given to us by our best friend in the whole wide world when we haven't seen her for years, and she gave it to us as a gift when she came home. Are you going to steal that?
I love
I,
that.
Like,
I,
one of
I
them lip
actually,
quivers.
I absolutely do not believe you at all.
I love
If anything, I suspect that you stole this from the person this belongs to.
Their face scrunches up, and again, in that sort of unison that they do, and they accept the 2 gold pieces and piggyback rides from each of you. And you have to pocket the goggles because of a couple of clumsy attempts to steal them back. But you are all eventually taken to this very nondescript stone building.
I do want to think, like, because Saigar isn't the strongest, so, like, instead of him giving the piggyback ride, he just, like, huffs one of them onto, like, the right side of Morgaine's shoulder, and the other one's on the left, and they're, like, holding on to his head
I have no
as he's
strength.
walking.
And Morgane's like moving through the street like a fucking like mech warrior, like doom.
That's a great plan, except for one of your shoulders is all fucking jaggedy and not a safe place for a child. So Saigar does have to carry one of them.
Darn it.
Oh boy.
Good boy.
And halfway through Saigar, the kid like kicks you with his and is like, go faster, and like with your ankles, and you are fucking sick of their shit pretty quick. And you make your way down back to the sort of darker section of the city. And you really need to give a name to this street. We're gonna call it I don't fucking know. I'll come to a name in a second here. What?
Downery Street.
It's too close to dawn.
Why not just call it the Boulevard of Broken Dreams at this point?
Oh my
Hell yeah.
god. The Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Alright.
No, I'll think of something in a moment. But you do end up like finding this door and you knock on it, and there's
The Boulevard of Shattered Spirits.
It's a Drown Yard Alley.
Ooh, Drown Yard. There we go. Yeah,
Ooh.
Drown Yard Alley. Very
Ooh.
nice. And the voice from the second floor or second story just sort of shouts. You can hear the voice kind of echoing out of one of the windows. It's like, no, come in, please. And you let yourselves into this.
How big is this door?
It's just big enough for you if you have to like hunch down a little bit and kind of go in sideways. It's certainly made for a much smaller person.
Sort of like elbow down, crab walk a little in.
Yeah. And when you go inside, it's also very clear to you that like the stairs to the second story are not built to support your weight at all. It's just wooden steps that protrude out from the wall. So Saigar makes his way upstairs and walks in kind of just like the middle of the group talking, and like Shay with a little bit of red tint to her cheeks as this elderly individual, again, super well dapper dressed, is clearly just finished telling his seventh embarrassing story for the night, where Kyvius and Warner just having a fucking ball.
You guys will not believe what we have learned. We will tell you everything.
Oh.
I toss the goggles to Shay and then say, I believe you might be missing these, Shay.
One of them is, the right side of one of them is a little bit scratched.
I'm gonna look at the kids and just stick my tongue out.
They didn't come inside. Yeah.
Fasten them back where they should be.
And I imagine that without too much further dialogue, Saigar, you sort of unravel or unwrap the blueprints that you had retrieved.
Friends, this appears to be the layout and the structure of the casino that we would like to go next tomorrow night. I believe it'll help us. Let's use it to formulate a plan of action.
Well, I mean, that's not the life for no reason. It's a casino. It's open at night.
That's a good point. Although I
Right,
would imagine
yeah.
it's more active,
gonna
maybe
be a
more
lot of
security during the night.
There's gonna be a lot of nightlife.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
I'm
was,
just saying.
Right, but I think with more crowd, it's easier for us to get around as opposed to
That's also
if we
a
go
good
in the middle
point.
of the day when there's almost no one there, they'll notice every one of our
So-
movements.
I had a thought, alright, and this is gonna sound real fucking terrible for a second. The second part of it was that I was wondering if Old Man, had a plan, somewhere in his fucking, you've got plans for everything for apparently. Also, Saigar, the dude with the fucking cloak and the tan, and then Morgane, robot boy here. I was thinking that we do a classic heist. Claudius and I will pretend to be a married couple while Saigar and Warren sneak in.
I'm not good at sneaking.
Iris is gonna burst out laughing when you mention Warren sneaking.
What? I imagine there's a story there.
Also true, Warren can pretend to be our butler.
The old man says, if you are going tomorrow, just as sort of sun sets, I could see to the cancellation of one of the acts of live entertainment to get you a slot where you could enter as, I don't really know what talent your group possesses, he says.
What's the live
Live
entertainment?
music or a song or comedy.
Listen, as long as we don't get help, I think we're good.
What's the entertainment?
The act varies each hour. They have bookings for comedians and musicians and
So something,
dancers.
some
And he said with an
wouldn't be
eyebrow.
they wouldn't be missing anything if we did something different.
Very
I know somebody who'd be pretty good at one of those.
Who?
Says,
Oh yeah, magic show.
It's
Eerie.
just, I like look at Shay and I'm like,
What?
yo.
Like, is Shay performing all of a sudden? What's going on?
All right.
What's the story
Only
there?
for 9 years.
I'll take Eerie with me then, while the rest of you break into the vault.
Do I hear this?
Yeah,
Like,
you're
am I
here.
like?
Well, we're all
wait,
here making a plan, aren't we?
Well, like the stairs couldn't support me, and I don't know how far
No,
that puts me away.
Actual.
you can hear, but Old Man is going to come down in just a moment. But you can certainly hear this plan and respond for sure.
Actually,
Okay.
better idea. Fuck taking Yuri. Sorry. I'll take Clavius with me.
You're both very
He's gonna.
enigmatic, maybe flamboyant, maybe the right word. I don't know.
No. Listen. What's gonna happen is that Clavius is gonna pretend to be a magician.
He doesn't have to pretend.
No. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't Eerie be better? I mean, just saying magician. I don't know a lot of tricky tricks.
I'm just.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that you're better at lying than Eerie is.
The old man clears his throat. He says, "One of the things that Scheherazade has never truly learned is that the phrase "I have a plan" is not more important than actually having a plan. Just because you announce it does not mean that you are bereft of having to actually come up with decisions."
I'm gonna hear about this the entire night.
No, I'd love to him to stick around.
You have now managed to propose and fail at 3 plans in about 45 seconds, my dear. I think perhaps it's time for someone else talking and for you to think.
What do you want me to do, Dad?
Either you are going by yourself, which is where you specialize, or you are going to put your friends to their best usage. And it seems to me, he says, standing from the table, that now that you have declared one of them to be a stealthy individual, and there is some discussion about one of you possesses a talent, it seems to me that knowing your companion is not really what you're best. Warren, you said your name was.
Got it.
How does your arm react to water?
Sort of my choice. I can bring it up into my body, or if it stays in there too long, it sort of sizzles.
Then you, he says, handing you his bowl of rutabaga, are doing the dishes. And he looks back at Shay. Do you see how easy that was? Ask, and then answer. I will be downstairs spending some time with your metal companion. Try that, he says, and steps down the stairs.
I've never done a chore before.
I want to picture like
Was
he
that-
do- like he's
I'm
just
just wondering-
standing there with like a plate in his hand.
Was that Wild or was that Warren speaking just now?
Whoa!
Warren holding a plate like it's just an alien object.
Are you sure you're not from the Shadowfell? Because that's some fucking shade.
All right.
What did he say at the end about?
He's hanging out with me.
Oh, he's gonna go hang out, with Morgan.
So we'll get Warren as a dishwasher.
No, he meant
That
literally doing the dishes right now in your house. Not part of your plan.
All right. But let's talk about a plan. Because time grows short.
I think listening to Saigar and the looking at the plans might be a good first step.
I agree.
We have a blueprint.
So
And we know that
if we
they
examined
need
the
entertainment.
blueprint, like what would is there like what would if we took a look at the blueprint, like what kind of information could we glean from that?
Could we run like an engineering check on it to get some insights into the casino, like back entrances or side entrances, that kind of stuff?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I want everybody to go ahead and give me a dungeoneering check. for every success that we get, which is 15 or better, I will tell you a little additional bit of information. But kind of as a whole quick overview, the Devil's Due Casino, the main thing that you get from the blueprint is that it is about 4 stories, and the vault is located in the basement. These are some fantastic rolls. Thank goodness for Saigar. So
And the vault is in the basement, you said.
Sort of. It's a
Oh,
little more
no.
complicated than that. So the front foyer is a massive area that has clearly been designed to have also like the not cages is not really the right word. God, what's the fucking word? Yeah, the cashier's cages basically, where it's all been built with
the cash out area.
cashier's cages, yeah, that have been built with vertical metal bars that have basically been inset into the stone floor. Everything in the building is all going to be decorated with like a casino theme and so. And yeah, absolutely, you do. And then it's been built to be long enough that it's going to basically allow some of the security on the inside, even in the sort of front foyer area, to weed out who is actually a big wig here that's going to be gambling and who is basically the kind of person that might be planning a fucking stupid heist, and to get them ejected immediately. The main sort of central area of the actual casino itself is this big giant hexagonal chamber about 150 feet in diameter, with a couple of additional lower stories and things, where there's a couple of different games that take place here, but mostly the action is in the VIP area, which you can only access by a secondary hallway that leads off to the west. And the domed ceiling of this place and the multiple stories has been all made of glass to prevent anybody from doing anything stupid like trying a roof entrance, basically, except for one particular part of the roof, where directly over kind of the manager's office, I guess is the right word, where it is a big giant like ceiling canvas of some type, according to this blueprint, where they got like a special individual from Epitaph to do like some complex artwork to really snazz up the main casino area. And then there's a couple of like off the main areaways places, like there's a couple of privies, of course, that are like large enough for like 5 or 6 people. There is a changing room for kind of the entertainment and the hostesses of the evening. And there's a couple of kitchens, one for sort of the on-staff kitchen that always has people there, and then for like a rotating guest kitchen for whoever is coming with like sort of the special hors d'oeuvres, basically, for the evening. Whether it's been like a group of adventurers is dissecting like some like ageless corpse, and that's what's on the menu that night. Is that some kind of high special thing that they'll do with like a rotating second kitchen other than just the standard menu. And then down a hallway is where you would get to the VIP area, where the hallway branches off into sort of 3 different things, where the VIP area is located on a balcony that overviews the rest of High Helm, that is clearly designed with like heavy security in mind. All of the doors here that lead in and out of this VIP area could like close and lock basically at any moment if they need like full lockdown potential, absolutely. And then it also leads off to a big major stage area, presumably for whatever the entertainment is that evening. And then beneath that, there is an underground arena where people who are on the balcony can watch the blood sports that take place in kind of the lower level of the casino. If you were to go to the end of the hall, there's another set of those like just like immediate lockdown set of double doors. And here the blueprint doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense, but it is Saigar who points out that some of the writing here indicates that there is some kind of arcane eye that indicates both an eye and a hand, and you kind of get the very general feeling that there's some kind of security here, where perhaps some kind of arcane spell is what is the eye, and then the hand would be some kind of additional security necessary to actually get past it. And then from here is another like basically elevator style pedestal goes down to the lower level of the building, where it leads to another large room that looks like it has like big ink tanks or something in there. Presumably they like print cards or money or something down there. You're not really sure what the deal is. And then it leads to a hallway, and the hallway is very clearly trapped. This is what Morgaine notices with his understanding of just general overview technology. When you bring the blueprints down to him, it looks like this hallway has been designed to essentially be like a crushing wall trap where it activates basically the second that you enter this hallway, and it only ends when whatever necessary steps to stop it take place. And then finally, this leads to the very final room, which is the vault, which is totally hidden, except it has a connection thing to that same kind of eye again. And this is an indicator that this is where basically the entirety of the riches of this place are located, but there is no easy way out once you are in the vault. Again, it has those immediate ceiling doors on it, and it's a 3-tiered level area with what look like there are additional defenses in this vault itself as well, that they sort of are scribbled to be vaguely humanoid style shapes. There's a couple of them. And that's the general overview.
Warren, who rolled a 1 on Dungeoneering, you know those people who, like, do jobs like writing or creative work who've been at their desk all day looking at a document? They've got this far off look stare in their eye. That's him. And he's like, I kind of thought this was going to be a little simpler.
Gentlemen,
Warren, I'm gonna be honest. Warren,
and
I'm gonna
ladies.
be honest. This is not as easy as just like punking an ageless.
I say this is a smash and grab job.
I agree.
I mean, yes, but where do we smash and grab and then get out alive?
I leave that up to you, Kybius.
Depending on
I
your
think
definition of smash, a lot of places.
I think we need to have a distraction ready.
Hi.
Yeah. So we have a couple options for distractions. So they're missing an act of sorts. Magician. I've got something I could do. Don't know about the rest of you. I think that the second part of it should be an infiltration team.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
It's more complicated though, because I mean, it's not a good way out once you're in.
That's actually what I was going to say. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think you're right, Shay. I think we have a way in. If old man can get us that slot, but what I don't know is, first off, how do we get our way to the vault, which appears rather guarded, and then once we're there, how do we get out?
I think it's pretty cut and dry though. Like we
Just
distract
make a run
on
for
so
it?
on no on service we distract on service level. We dismantle the eye and whatever surveillance they have, break into the vault. But then like the thing that I'm kind of like snuck up on, I gonna be honest here, I have not done this in a while. Old man, which is why I'm here with old man. The extraction.
I say we use our time limit to our advantage.
Yeah,
If we only need to get in and we automatically get out, that's one problem solved for us already.
Oh, do we just...
It's just the caveat if we don't get it in time.
I shake my head a little bit. The problem is that Jovi said it was a little bit... It wasn't exact.
I don't think we should rely on that. I think we should rely on proper egress. Honestly, we should be Listen, honestly, we should be proper villains, right?
Well.
What are you thinking, Morgaine?
I don't like the villain idea. What are you thinking with it?
Oh! I'm sorry. Would you like to just walk up to the casino? I'm a warforged. Just give me the stuff. I need it for things.
That wasn't what I was saying.
Ideally, no one should know we were ever there.
You're
right.
right.
No one gets hurt.
You're right. I'm being kind of a bitch, but...
Erie, can you only shrink inanimate objects?
Yes.
So you couldn't, shrink people?
No.
Could you shrink me?
I don't think so. Because you're people, right?
What about Saiga?
That's a discussion.
I will go cast Shrink on Morgaine. Is he people?
Can you go ahead and roll your Arcana for me?
Well, I'm a human.
Are you
There's-
scared?
There's no plus or minus anywhere to either way. When you say you cast Shrink on Morgaine, you said you have to kind of touch him, right?
Yeah, just go put my hands on him.
Where specifically?
You know where this is
That's a
going.
good
Yeah, you
question.
I
do.
don't know where this is going.
Just like on the sides of his head.
Okay.
Oh,
There is a moment where there is like the screech of metal, and Morgaine, you feel like it's working, and your voice gets a little bit more high pitched, as you feel yourself like your vision gets a little bit lower, and then it kind of just stops, and the rest of you all sort of look at Morgaine, where his head part, right, which is a detachable, separate piece and technically an object that could be
Oh my
removed,
God.
has now become roughly around 5 inches in height, sitting on top of this otherwise like 6 foot tall body.
I'm doing this work.
Well, Morgaine could be part of the show now.
Does it
Is this
come off?
reversible?
Oh, yeah, it'll go away in a couple minutes.
No,
Should at least, I think.
this is off to a great start. Old man, you've kind of always kind of like had like an eye for this, and I feel like this is kind of like a lesson that you're about to teach me. So like, can we just kind of like skip to that?
He's not in here.
I thought he was.
No, he was hanging out with Morgaine, who I imagine that some of you have gone down now to see
Yeah.
that. And he says, "Your problem, Shay, is that you expect your first plan to be the successful one. And it never is going to be. Ever. Trust me. Because if it was so simple that you could just simply plan, solve the trap, go in, steal the treasure, I don't know, maybe you'll be married, who knows, whatever, then you don't really have a plan. Because the true plan is plan B and plan C. And what happens when your plan inevitably fails, as it will? The important part is knowing that your first plan is going to fail and having a response for that. And the only way that you're ever going to have a response for that is by knowing what your companions are capable of. You continue, he says with a bit of a tisk. You continue to approach and say, no, listen to me. This is what I'm good at. And then continue to throw ideas at them without having taken their input first. A real leader would ask their companions how they can contribute and then piece it together from there. Your job, if you are going to conduct some kind of heist, is to not create the plan yourself, but put the pieces together in a way that it becomes foolproof. Do you understand so far?
God, I hate you.
Let me ask you a question. He says to Warren, if this was your casino, and the trap at the base there, the magical one of some type, was the looks like it's the walls that crush. What would you do? What would your solution be? If you were the owner of the casino and that was your last line of defense, how does it defend the vault?
The crushing walls at the bottom.
Yes. Do you, owner of the casino, go down there and clean up the sludge from people who have wandered in and simply are crushed? Do you, the owner of the casino, knowing that it will activate every single time that you step into that room, deal with the redundancy each time of entering a code or a password or uttering a command phrase? What do you do?
No, there's got to be a way to turn it off.
Magic's come a long way in a lot of years. You can look to people like Javi for. If it's arcane in nature, it's probably activated with certain conditions.
There's got to be a way to get around it.
The staff
back
must
room.
have access
or think
to it.
about the staff or he himself. Either there's a code or a key or some kind of talisman that they carry on their person.
If here's a question, as the owner of the casino, do I know if other people traffic through there frequently, employees or staff?
Well, would you let a lot of people? Wouldn't you restrict access to that room? No.
Probably.
I'm sure we could probably track down.
It'd likely be a tiny handful of people that have access to that room.
Right.
I'm sure, but does this blueprint even say like who has access to it?
It's just blueprint.
It's,
It does not, but
it's
let's.
just a floor plan.
Andy turns to Kyvius and says, "You seem like you understand people. You're the owner of this casino. Where is your last guard situated? In the trapped room? In the vault? At the
No.
base of the elevator?"
No, it's a good point. If they were in the vault, they couldn't be effective because the trap itself would just eliminate the guards. So if I was going to plant a last line of defense, if the vault trap is my last line of defense, then
And
sorry, go
and
ahead.
remember in this scenario that you are not yourself, but you are greedy and paranoid and
I
have
don't
lived on the tenets of the Ka. Where is the last spot you trust a soldier, a guard in this place?
in
I don't
front of
think.
the locked door, not behind it.
Right, you never know. They may steal off with the gold.
Yeah.
And you, he says, turning to Morgaine, big man, I've heard conversations already about how if there is a talisman or a token or a some sort of way that you would need to overcome one of the guards in this place to proceed, where would you do it?
Where would I get it?
Where would you do it away from prying eyes?
I would say the back room, but oftentimes crowds are better cover.
He nods in total and absolute agreement. And then he turns back to Scheherazade and says, "The goal is to put the pieces of the puzzle together." Do you disagree with any of those statements? If you were to concoct a plan, I imagine that it would involve Morgaine strong-arming somebody down directly into the vaults and using their corpse as leverage between the two closing walls until it gave you time to solve the puzzle. But that's not how you do things when you rely on others. So one piece of the puzzle takes place here, and he says, and he puts his finger directly on the map in sort of the center lobby where all of the gambling is going on. Because if you are apprehending a guard, according to Morgaine, this is the best place to do it. And you figure out what that means.
Where they can keep an eye on the other people.
Now, if you will excuse me, he says, this is all far too much excitement for an elderly fellow like me. I really do have to get some shut-eye. You are welcome to the lower quarters for tonight. There is not a lot of in the way of comfort. And I will see you all in the morning. Get some sleep, he says, very sternly.
You're a guard.
And he makes his way back up the stairs to the second floor. And he says, Scheherazade,
Yeah.
I love you.
I don't even say anything, but there's a head swivel between
Everybody,
Shay and
everybody turns to look to Shay.
Love you too, Dad.
Scheherazade, did you hear me? I'm sorry, my ears aren't quite as good as they used to be. One more time.
Love you, Dad. Olivia's still taking me to school.
and goes back upstairs. Love you too, Winterbloom, and makes his way back into his bedroom, and there's a door closes.
Winterbloom.
Winterbloom. Yes.
Please.
Morgaine's eyes turn a subtle shade of pink just over the.
Please no.
Oh, Winterbloom, oh, Winterbloom.
I'm gonna punch Saigar.
I take being mentally whipped.
I roll acrobatics and I'm successful. I move away.
I roll athletic. I will contest your acrobatics.
I love immediately you guys get into a fucking you jump up and turn into a fucking slap fight and square off.
The lesson was just work together, and the immediate response is get in a fist fight.
Acrobatics, bro. Let's go.
Actually rolling this.
Can I intervene and pick him up by the collars?
I don't
There
think you need to.
I don't need to roll against that. I'm good.
No, go ahead.
No. If you roll in that one, it'll be.
Scheherazade, you leap up and go for the punch, and Saigar jumps back, and you step forward, and your foot kicks one of the iron ingots that just ching 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 rattles down the side, and the footsteps halfway upstairs stop, and you wince, and then Morgan just wraps a big arm around.
I kick it, and I'm just grabbing my foot
The Zect Nat 1 curse bodes so well for future PvP, guys.
Yeah, Battlegrounds is gonna be fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard
well,
it. We should all get some sleep.
Yeah, I think sleep would be best. I think we've been given a lot to think about on this one, and I want a whole week to think about it.
Kyvius, you're absolutely right. I mean, I got asked by the casino to leave the other night. They said I had a chip on my shoulder.
Okay, now I want to
total
try
silence.
to punch Saigar.
Can I make an attack roll against Saigar with shoot?
You guys spend the next 20 minutes ineffectually, with the blueprints beneath or between you, bickering and snapping at one another, and in kind of the oh shit, we're actually friends kind of way, where there's a couple of punches thrown that are good natured, whacks on the shoulder, and some that are not super good natured, but for the most part, it's the very first time that you guys have also really felt like you're fucking stuck together on this one. And with the helmet that Morgaine has sitting next to him, you guys talk about your plans long into the night for the following day, when the Devil's Due Casino and the vaults within are going to be your target.
This is a good song. This music video that goes with it is haunting, but it's a good song.
What's this
And
from?
that's our game tonight, guys.
Ooh.
I'm glad we got a week because I'm gonna need an hour to go over Steele's description of the file.
Yes, that's exactly. No, I'm immediately saving this video and going back over the description and try do a little drawing.
I rolled a nat 1 in real life. Steele started talking and I phased out and came back and it'd been
Well, see,
5 minutes and I was like, oh my god, we're still talking about the casino
That's so
layout.
funny. 'Cause
that
I'm
was very detailed description of the
Yeah, I know.
casino.
But Wild, I'm the same way. I'm spatially deficient. People, I remember people will be like, "Hey, we should move the couch over to this side," and I'll be like, "Let's just do it and see what it looks like," because I can't So the description goes on, and I'm I lost track of everything. So I'm I'm gonna
Listen.
go back and listen to it again and just make myself a little map.
Let's make a deal. Whoever ends up with recap, you cannot do anything but draw the map. If you just draw the map of what he described,
That's a
you're
good question.
good.
Who's doing recap?
Oh, it's a full reset now, isn't it?
Are we
It
we
is
back
a
to the
full
beginning?
reset.
Wow, good job, everyone.
So, Warren, I mean, we're gonna need a Boski, a Jim Brown, a Miss Daisy, 2 Jethros, a Leon Spinks, and the biggest
Let me see if I
joke
can
ever.
fucking just draw it here. Does that work? No.
Apparently none of you watched Ocean's 11.
I've watched Ocean's
I
Eleven.
got
So
you.
many times.
I'm pretty sure you missed my Deserts 11 comment I made when this was first revealed.
No, I love that.
Are you trying to draw Zito?
I'm
No, I
working
was
on
just-
it.
Oh.
Maybe I'll create one in Visio tomorrow when I get a chance.
I just did recap. This is not my turn.
I feel
Okay.
like I feel like I just covered for somebody.
Can I say something before our characters go to sleep?
Absolutely.
I just wanna. Erie's just gonna go off on his own, get a little piece of chalk, and just draw it on the ground, his normal little sending ritual, and he's gonna say a little prayer.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, good lady watching over us. As fate sends us on this journey, I beseech thee to grant us your blessing so that luck may smile upon us and see that we are safe from harm.
I love that.
Out to Avandra.
I turned up the music too loud and I missed that.
Oh, and now the recording doesn't have
Yeah,
it.
the
Thank
recording
you,
definitely
Benjamin.
doesn't have it. Well, actually, no, the recording should have it because the recording doesn't get the music. So I think we should be good.
You got him.
Got it.
And it seems fitting for this upcoming casino.
So I think it's either Benji or
Yeah, if I'm
Kaz-
sorry, if
Kaz-
Zekt is already, because I went after Zekt last time. So if Zekt already did his second one, then it's my turn to do a second one.
No, I
think
haven't
so.
done a second one yet.
It's either
So-
it's either Kaz or Benji.
I feel like this one should be Kaz or Benji.
Sure.
And I can take the next one after that.
Okay. Kaz, you gonna do this one?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
You wouldn't want my input. It would just be Warren talking about all the things he didn't get to ask the kid. Just be like a fucking list.
It's like all missed opportunities.
I've got a fucking checklist of things I need to go back to the tomb and ask this man. Ox.
It does not
this
exist
man.
anymore.
I mean, he does exist. He just didn't want to deal with our shit.
I didn't ox you a question.
Actually, did he just disappear, or does he still exist, Deal?
I mean, he's immortal. He's a fucking.
Yeah,
dead
he's
in
still there.
forever.
He just shimmered out.
Yeah,
Because
but
he
he
was
could have
like,
joined the far plane. I mean, he could have dissipated.
Oh my fucking god.
Your favorite game of all time, Steel.
Oh my god.
But yeah, we could totally go back there and roll Legacy again, right? Like that hammer, though.
Sure.
So the vault's on the bottom, like in the basement, right?
Correct. I'm doing my best.
Okay,
Once we collect more legacy points, we can go back and roll again.
I'm not sure. I don't think they're there anymore.
Depends. Maybe you roll roll to get the king to let you see the stuff again.
No, we just gotta fight him again.
That'll work.
He just levels
Oh,
up
yeah.
every time.
Oh, I get it. We need to do a long rest, so we reset the instance.
He'll show up and he'll be the Resident 4 Resident Evil 4 vendor. What are you buying?
We've only got one more chance before we leave this zone. Otherwise, we'll have to come back in endgame.
Tomb and New Game Plus.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause I mean,
this is actually very detailed.
once we're out of here, like we're traveling all the way to the Caw, then to like down across the trench and fucking out into the mountains. Like we're gone.
Was the question
Love
mark
is
room
lit-
the one with
love-
the like eyeball?
Nope, I'm doing that too. It's a legitimate question mark room.
And then there's one literally called Death Trap.
Question mark is the didn't roll enough dungeoneering room.
The crushing trap.
Forgive my ignorance. Privies equals washrooms?
Bathroom.
It's a shitter.
Where people
Got
do
it.
their duty.
That's
The
an
chamber
eye
pot.
right there.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
It's blue. That's how you know it's magic.
Oh yeah, and also there's a hand. Here we go. Boom.
Nice.
It's pretty
Love
and,
good.
then and then I'm gonna go ahead and do all of the rooms or the doors that like fucking super slam shut in like a. Let's go with a green. No, everything is green. Fuck. I don't have any other colors, guys. Purple. We'll do purple
You
for
have
all the fucking
used
super slam
3
doors.
of the rainbow in colors.
Nope, we're all out of colors. Only 3 exist in the world.
Red, blue, and green. You're right. I'm sorry. Yellow. Wow. Red, blue, and yellow.
These are all the doors that are in light that go full lockdown.
I would have failed kindergarten.
Are they mechanical in nature?
They appear to be, yes.
Okay, cool.
They appear to be doors.
I know, but they may have like a mechanical
Morgan, if we just
After
get
bolting
if we just duplicate Morgaine, he can just fucking hold each of them.
It's
okay, we learned he can make his head tiny.
yeah, it has that proper vibe where like at any point in time, if things go wrong, you're basically fighting your way back out.
Yeah.
And
In
it's
the
not
most
gonna be a
awful way
good time.
possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's great that I have a ritual that closes doors,
And
but
this is
doesn't open them.
and this is different if we have to fight our way out because these are high helm soldiers we'd be fighting, right?
Well,
Like,
no. So to
No.
clarify,
This is owned by the Shaka, right?
this Gaspar
Yeah.
Tormigan guy, the elf whose face you can kind of just see floating over the picture, is somebody who hides his arms and hands underneath frilly purple clothing and gloves because he is one of the ringed, and he took a fortune from like Ka Upper Wealth to come to this place to sort of set up this casino in High Helm for reasons unknown. And I think that people who have theories are already theorizing this is another one of those like clockwork train style situations where they get set up in towns sort of before the attacks start taking place.
As many people
But-
as they can get to be part of the Ka.
Yep. But it's a
Okay.
pretty glitzy, glammy place. It's much bigger than it lets on because of it's like most people think that it's half VIP area and then half of it is sort of like the main foyer, but there's so much more kind of underneath when you're looking at like the arena and the vaults below.
You said we have a full reset, so all of our abilities come back.
I didn't say that. Nope.
Oh, I thought I heard full reset. Sorry.
that was
Nice
me
try.
saying we needed,
I think right
that
now
was
it's
me
just that
saying we needed a
short
long
rest.
rest to reset the dungeon, but a long rest
Mhm.
is like a weekend. So
got
yeah.
it.
we
And we
used up
don't
our
have enough time for
entire
that.
clock doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the last thing before we hit a level up and a full rest, but it's the last thing.
I still have my daily.
I have mine too. Mine is really good for this because it can put a crowd of people unconscious.
That's great.
Ooh.
Harmlessly unconscious.
Mine is just a nuke.
You can kill all the people who try to stop us.
You
Not
just
all of
blow up
them.
the
I can
casino.
kill one of them.
Oh, it's a single target nuke, so it's it's a contained nuke.
Mine
Also,
is huge.
clarification on this map really quickly here as well. There is a secondary staircase that goes up from like the stage area up to sort of the manager office and stuff on the second and third levels as well, where all of the people who like work here, they like sleep and live there as well. But because I assume that you are not heading up to the manager's office if you can help it, I didn't include it on the map.
Is the main hall, foyer, stage? I'm assuming probably if it's a rig stage, VIP. Are these all on the same level, or is there a level differential between?
The level differential is the elevator that has the dotted lines. That's sort of like
That's the only level.
dictating.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay, so
Yeah.
but arena kind of is lower as well, right? Just not on the
Yeah,
same level as the vault.
It's
like sunken in.
it's to the point that the VIP balcony like overlooks it a little bit, but it's more like theater seats on the upper level.
Yeah. I gotcha. That makes sense. God, yeah, fighting our way out of this would be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's
we need
a
to try and
one-way street.
as best as possible. Inevitably, I will roll a nat 1 and fuck everything up.
It's also very clearly been designed for there to be full of like different choke points where like by the time you get through one of the sealed doors, they've already got a whole bunch of guards ready on the other
Yeah.
side.
Also, remember if for some reason you can think of a crucial resource for the plan, we have minor alter reality. We have hero points.
You do have this is a good time for them, absolutely.
They would be really good to suddenly have what seems like an object we really, or to suddenly have a connection we might really need.
Clearly, we just need to buy an immovable rod.
For one door And
No!
For the death trap.
For the death trap!
For when just that one part of the wall gives way and keeps crushing us.
You get 2 immovable rods.
Okay, now there's 2 holes in the wall. Who's drawing?
Steel. The white.
Anybody can draw in any color.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
It
you're right. It
might
could
not
be
be
any
me.
of us highlighting the boobies.
You gotta keep tits in the kitchen. I guess.
You're so right.
Still
All right, there we go.
still streaming.
That's your battle map.
Thanks,
Oh
man.
well. It's important
Glad
that we
for
stay
the
G-rated.
detail.
Benji, quick, what's the
That made it
screenshot? What's the
G-rated,
screenshot
thank
on
you.
Mac again? I can't remember.
I don't. It's in my fingers. I don't.
I'm probably gonna send this out for a week.
Command Control Shift 4, I think. I think my fingers just did that automatic. I had to think about it now, so I'm not sure. I think it's Command Control Shift 4, and then to make it a full screenshot, you press the space bar.
Nope.
Try Command Control Shift F4.
Oh, that worked.
All right.
Now, if you just add Alt.
I know it happened a really fucking long time ago, but like you fucking kicked the shit out of my boss, guys. Holy
That
fuck.
guy! Oh my god, yeah. I love that he had a second phase.
I was fucking looking at his like triple attack that's like an average of like 15 damage per hit for 3 hits with like his fucking plus 10 or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, he's probably gonna have -2 to hit because of Eerie or Warren or whatever, but like fucking somebody is gonna get just slammed, man. All of these whole like you can have your gear break or you can fall prone. You're like, no, just fucking don't let him play. Just CC this man to oblivion.
Never hit me.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
I was holding on to that blind card. I'm like, that's what we're gonna do. He's gonna blind the fucker.
No, that was
That was clutch.
Yeah, I expected the not going to hit me ploy to last long enough to get him to the center. That was all that I thought would happen.
Yeah.
But the fact that it played out the whole combat, and he got so many. He was at -9 before the fucking.
Yeah.
Who led?
But listen, guys, since Say At Me is down this week, there is no criticism allowed. There is no Geomancy cards being handed out this week. Sorry, boys.
Conveniently before we have one of our hardest encounters coming up.
Listen, no, it's. I didn't say it was going to be a hard encounter. You could have done these in either direction.
Thankfully,
think it
many
should
of us.
default
Thankfully,
go
many
to-
of us still have cards as well. That could be very useful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you guys
think
are-
I think the Geomancy should default go to Warren, just so then we all have one.
No, you know what? I don't have that power. As the website's down, I have no proof of people's votes. We have to hold it off.
We
for a
can
week.
vote here, right? Literally.
Make a straw poll.
That is true. That is true. Who do you guys vote for?
Warren.
He left.
I'm still here. Zach's left.
No,
Oh, no, Zach's
Steel left.
left.
Steel
Did he?
left.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Fucker.
All right, night everyone.